Hello.
Hiya, Kizzy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? How are you? How are you?
It's okay, so I'm just trying to.
So let's just chorus. Fuck your lawns, plant some garden. Better yet, let your weeds get high. It's really dancing, not gonna sing. The earth is crying. It's you that's gonna die, and she will be.
Even should have worked.
Well, that was a warm up. That was our warm. I don't know if you could hear us. I heard a lot of noise. I didn't know if that was okay. Anyway, that was literally just a proper warm up song. Yeah. So, well, there's a bit of a green one for green, as Emily is the new green councillor, Councillor Fedorovich, and we're gonna go from green, the green song, to green eyes. Green eyes. So hopefully this is a bit calmer. Please just wave at us or something if you can't hear or if something goes wrong. If you're not enjoying it and you want us to stop. Tragedy if you can't hear. Tragedy. I mean.
This wouldn't work.
Honey, you are a rock upon which I stand, and I've come here to talk. I hope you understand. The green light, vivid spotlight shines upon you. How could my skirt's blown up. Anybody deny you? I came here with a love, and it feels so much lighter. Now I met you, and honey, you should know that I could never go without you. Green eyes, honey, you are the sea, on which I float. And I come here to talk. shines upon you. How could anybody deny you? I came here with a love, and it feels so much lighter now I met you. And honey, you should know that I could never go on without you. Green eyes, green eyes. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Green eyes, green eyes. Whoa. We are really the thing laptop we're working on is just like blown all over the place. We will see. I don't know how long we have.
Yeah, no. Have we got time for one or two more?
Or none, or
Two.
two. We can't see you, Gary.
2.
Okay.
Okay, both of us leaning. Okay, so this is one of mine, and it's called Puppy Love, and it's not as soppy as it sounds. You sing of whiskey and I don't care, and I'm not scared of you, 'cause you're shorter than me. He sings of love and that he's mine, and I'm not fine without some old Romeo or Eskimo kisses. I know that public displays of affection can give you a sizable rejection of my hugs. Let's kill the puppy love. Let's set a triple Cupid in his music and his arrow up above. I'll fight against the heartache and just keep along my pathways, and no promises of always in the night. But for now, let's just spend some time together, 'cause I think you're alright. You sing of slow gin and I'm concerned. If I'm being honest, you sound like an alcoholic, and maybe you could learn from guys that sing about my long brown hair, and how they swear that my angelic eyes light up the sky. Oh, it's easy enough to pretend, to say that it's all fine. I'm feeling alright. No one's to battle, not to defend, but then I tripped and I fell for a friend. I know the public displays of affection can send you in all the wrong directions, in sentimental hell. Let's break the magic spell. Let's stop all of the stupid, downright putrid love. It makes me feel unwell. I'll fight against the heartache and just keep along my pathway, and I promise not to hold you in the night. But I'm sorry to say that I like you, and I hope that's alright. I hope that's alright. Alright. Yeah. And I hope that it's alright. Thank you. And last one is a bit of a mix. So this is just a mix of songs about money, because we're big gold diggers. Yeah.
That's what we.
Yeah, it's our money masher.
If you got the money, I think it would be funny, to take your girl, spend a bit of your cash for me, 'cause then she might be happy, no longer lonely, and I could take her out the next day for pretty much free, and all the boys can go. It's not about the money, money, money. We don't need to know money, money. We just wanna make the world dance. Forget about the price tags. Ain't about the hey, cha-ching, cha-ching. Ain't about the ba-bling, ba-bling. Gotta make the world dance. Forget about the price tags. I wanna be a billionaire, so freaking bad. I love the things I never had. I wanna be on the cover of Forbes magazine, smiling next to Oprah and the Queen. What up, Oprah? Oh, every time I close my eyes, what you see, what you see? I see my name in shining lights. Oh yeah, yeah, a different city every night. Oh, I swear the world better prepare for when I'm a I ain't got money on my mind, money on my mind. I do it for the love. I ain't got money on my mind, money on my mind. I do it for the love. I ain't got money on my mind, money on my mind. I do it for the love. I ain't got money on my mind, money on my mind. I do it for the love. I got bills, I gotta pay, so I'm gonna work every day. I got mouths, I gotta feed, so I'm gonna make sure everybody eats. I got no mind. I got no mind. I do it for the love. I got no mind. I do it for the love. I got no mind. I do it for the love. I do it for the love. Thank you.
Woo! Unmute yourselves and give them a massive hoot. I always feel at ease when I see the Fed Sisters. I'm nervous all day. The first ever live gig I ever put on, they were there. My birthday, the pitch, and this is our green councillors. Thank you, girls. Thank you.
I just
Hope you can stick around.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got some more singing later, but Kizzy, that was my gift to you, the Fed Sisters. Now, ladies and gentlemen, especially the Wades, can you be upstanding, please?
Right, we were going to mute ourselves. Thank you so much. Oh, just having a look. Right, should we mute?
Well, shut up now.
This is not the Euros. Ladies and gentlemen, I said this will be a special night. I hope you're all standing. But No, Kizzy has not been made a queen yet. I do say yet. But I'd like to introduce to us a very special guest. It's her birthday tomorrow. Her Majesty, the Queen of England, Mr. Clive Osmond.
Thank you very much. Now, tonight marks a very new beginning for me. It's been a difficult time since...
Got no headphones on.
Oh dear. Oh, for feck's sake. Okay, let's start again. Let's pretend that never happened. Tarquin, you will edit that bit out. Tonight marks a new beginning for me. It has been a difficult time since, well, you know, and I have not appeared at many Zoom events. Harry Hewitt continues to twist the knife, and then has the nerve to call the new baby Lilibet before we can even be sure what colour she will be. Not that that matters, of course. We have never been a racist family, and we absolutely never had a ban on immigrants of colour working in office roles at the palace. Oh no, sir, not at all. I have no idea where this rumour came from. But anyway, all that's in the past, so it doesn't matter anymore. A bit like Philip, really, I suppose. God rest his soul. But Philip got a bad press, which was totally undeserved. He upset a few people for sure, but he meant no harm. No harm, no harm even. Oh dear, I forgot to be Porsche. He was actually very laid back and fun-loving. He was what the younger generation, you know, those under 75, would call cool. Cool as ice cream. In fact, it was rather fitting that he got to 99 and then flaked out. A joker to the end was Philip. With the insurance money, I wanted to buy America back, but unfortunately it wasn't enough, so I shall have to be satisfied with the Falkland Islands, which we won back from Argentina 39 years ago this month. Hashtag Sheep Lives Matter. Anyway, I'm rattling on like Andrew at a kindergarten, which is not a good look. It's my official birthday tomorrow, you know. So, if you want to buy me a present, I'd quite like a rabbit. I've been very lonely since Philip went to sleep. God rest his soul. What? Oh my God, no, a pet rabbit to keep me company. Oh dear, oh God, I'm all flummoxed now. But what better way to spend the birthday, even if it isn't really Mon's birthday, than to celebrate Kizzy Wade, a young poet to whom I'm sure Charles or William will one day be awarding an OBE. I hope it's William. Charles will be a disaster, and we need to skip a generation. The good thing about William is he looks so much more like Charles than Harry does, don't you think? I can't think why, but never mind. Anyhow, I'm going to end this talk by sharing a dream with you all. I have dreamed of going to open mics for a long, long time, but Philip used to say I would make a fool of myself. But this was such a vivid dream, it still almost feels like it really happened. So I'm going to tell you all about it now.
Picture the scene. A cold, wet Thursday night. There's an open mic at a grotty pub in Aston. And who should rock up but Her Majesty the Queen, dressed in ripped jeans, trainers from George's Asda, and a T-shirt with the slogan, "He's no son of mine." She's driving an Eddie Stobart truck, which she uses to ram cars out of her way to claim the best parking space. She covers her head with a Primark bag to protect herself from the rain. She walks into the back room where the action is and steals the mic from Simon Armitage, who had popped in to test his new limerick and have a swift drink and maybe a spliff. Thankfully, the moment was recorded by an open micer, so have a listen. It will delight you. Blimey! I don't know what they put in my beer, but I'd swear the Queen just walked in here. And he rode up. Next up to the mic is Simon. This is Simon's first time here, but he says he's had an illustrious career. He's had severe writer's block, but now feels ready to rock. So please give it up for Simon Armitage. Thanks. There once were a boy born in York who grew up with a sword made of pork. It stood up by its sen, so he panicked and then tried to puncture it with a fork.
Oh, get out of the way, Armitage! You're my fucking laureate now. Do as you're told and sit down. And that was rubbish. Who ever heard of a pork sword? Dick. Yo, posse. Now listen, motherfuckers, because this shit's real. I'm here to launch a charity appeal. I know a man who needs plastic surgery to change his ID as a matter of urgency. I would say he's sweating on your support, but apparently he can't do that no more. So, if you can chip in with a few £1,000 to help him escape the baying hounds and give him certainty in the knowledge that he can pick up his girlfriend from her first day at college without ending up doing a stretch of porridge, then that would be sick, bro. I would ask Charles, but he's a dick though. Oh, bollocks to this shit show. Fuck protocol. I live on paracetamol, headache because of the pressure of being royal. I don't want to be disloyal, but before I leave this mortal coil, I want to do the normal things with all the fun and joy that brings. I want to work in a call centre and enter into a bit of banter. Do you know who I am? I would say. Now, wouldn't that make some commoner's day? I want to live in a council house, decorate the West Wing and rent it out. In fact, fuck the collection. A commoner's life is my intention, and Andrew can work in a sweatshop to earn his money. Nay, Alanis, dear, that is fucking irony. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this royal performance, and I will now hand you back to Mr. Gary Huskisson, and please enjoy the great night in honour of Kizzy Wade, OBE of the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Queen. I respect it's a busy time for you. Good luck staying on the horse tomorrow.
Thank you.
If my computer breaks down, it's because I spat all the drink all over it listening to Her Majesty. And talking about Her Majesty, she is the Queen of the United Kingdom, but for how long? There's probably only one person who knows this, what's going along there. It is not Councillor Fed. We're going to go to find out if to a taxi rank beyond Hadrian's Wall to find out will Scotland remain part of the Union. Mr. Finn Hull.
Yeah, I don't think the only union I'll be part of is the bloody taxi drivers union, which doesn't exist anyway. Good evening. Thank you for having me. And here I am in my taxi rank. Second car in the taxi rank, so I'm going to do a quick couple of pieces for you here. And they're new pieces. They're not out of my new book, which is out today, but they're out newer pieces than that. Sorry, quick plug. The first one is called Nothing Speaks Louder Than Silence. Alone in the room in the house, the empty house, the house where voices of children were heard, footsteps on the stairs, memories of the cries of "Stop running, stop that thumping," only echoes now. The house where music came from different teenage rooms, the chatter and nattering of giggly voices going on and on and on about nothing. The hammering of shelves being put up, the chattering of dishes, clattering of dishes being loaded into the washer, the slamming of doors. Stop slamming the door. chopping vegetables in the kitchen, boiling kettles, crushing herbs, sharpening knives. Now, a meal for one, a bed for one. Silence is all, and there is nothing louder than silence. This other one is, it's an amalgamation. The first line of it is actually a line from an old Linus cartoon. The middle bit is a piece that I did for the April Prompt Word Challenge, and the end of it just kind of ties it all together. It's called Nut Drowning. I am significant, screamed the speck of dust to anyone who would listen. It shouted by the river, yelled out by the sea, high in the mountains. Even the echo refused to respond. I have nothing, no thing. One thought goes a long way, stretching towards infinity, it seems. Like a restless, borderless, endless dream, an echo that continues, barely audible, into I have nothing. My mind is blank, a redundant bank, cashless, hopeless, less than zero, worth less than less. An empty safe, a place of non-existence, except these words. And with these words, these very words, there is proof that I am significant. Even though you and your high and mighty supposed haughtiness don't listen. And if you don't listen, if you won't listen, then these words aren't meant for you. And I will continue to swim against the tide if I have to. I am significant, screamed a speck of dust, swimming in a sea of equality. And I think that's all I've got for you just now. But it's been, I'll hang about and listen until I get a lift. And it's a pleasure to come here and honor Kizzy, great Kizzy. She was a regular blotter and a super person. And thanks for having me.
I'll do that without the remote switched on. Thank you, Finn. Drive safely. The Wades. The Wades. This is the moment you, not Kizzy, is it? Mr. and Mrs. Wades. What was that you called? What was that name you called your offspring?
Our darling daughter.
Yeah. No, it wasn't that. What's the name you called your offspring? Was it?
The little shit.
The little shit. Now, oh, Lantern won't approve of that. Oh, he won't approve of that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the little shit. It's so much better. You know, we can't call her the little voice because she's got a big voice. So if we call her the little shit, she'll never be that. You know, I will call her, because the Fed sisters are here, I will call her Greta Thunberg on acid. That is my... Let me welcome to you, Kizzy Wade.
Woo! Thank you all for being here. It's really awesome to have so many people. And if you're reading tonight, it's because you've made a difference to my journey, and I really appreciate that. And there's one person that's not reading it that refused to, who should be, and that's Gary. You made a massive you made a massive difference to my poetry life and my life in general. So thank you for having me tonight, and thank you for putting together this amazing event. So the first one I've got is sort of one I've adopted as my cover poem going into the new sort of voice I've been working on. and it's called Your Comfort is Important to Me. And I wrote it because people keep claiming that online that my poetry makes them uncomfortable, and they don't quite get that that is the point. Your comfort is important to me. It really is. I don't want to personally attack anyone, but I can't pussyfoot around the big issues. I have to at least try and inject some urgency into the powers that be. So if you're still in denial and my words offend you, well, that was kind of the point. If you're the sort of person that defends yourself against anti-hate in direct social media posts, insulting, accusing the author of arrogant ignorance, claiming they judge everyone in the same light, then I'd suggest the content was a bit close home. And if that's true, I'm glad it struck a chord. Even if it pulled a little too tight, that discomfort is on you. If you find the idea of activism annoying, if you can't fathom the importance of people power and would rather brag about being apolitical, leaving lives in the hands of removed incompetence, you have clearly never felt the burning rage that good activists feel. And if I'm the one that finally makes you feel that fire, then I'm proud to ignite it. If you resent people's rights to say something's problematic, discrediting them instead of listening and educating yourself, then you don't care for the comfort of others, the strife they've been through, the memories you could be dragging up at the expense of your freedom of speech. Then I believe that though respect is a given, I can respectfully listen and discount your point of view. I have to fight for their comfort ahead of yours. If you think social change is negative because you think the world ain't broke and we don't need to fix it, then someone needs to open your eyes. Someone needs to pop your bubble of privilege and demonstrate the point of the pin of reality. And if you find the real world uncomfortable, well, join the club. So if you're uncomfortable, I'm sorry, but the chances are the way you're acting makes a lot of people uncomfortable too. And if that is the case, then I am talking to you because your mindset needs to change and discomfort does breed that. So I hope I succeed in causing it. Thank you. The next one I've got is what I would consider one of my more cutting pieces. I'm just trying to find it. I have them all minimized. Here it is. Raise flags to raise patriotism. Be proud of your flag. Be proud of your country. That's a new distraction. Message. And don't forget when the left point out the hypocrisy and making divisive decisions to promote unity, they're just being anti-British. No, I'll be proud of Britain when the streets are safe and we can trust figures of authority to make sure of that. When schools stop pandering to impolite playground comedians and Casanovas and come up with a pragmatic prevention for predators before the jokes become jail time and their flippant taunts, tortured flashbacks. I'll be proud of Britain when the ruling class is held to account, not just the eating educated Egypts who constantly choose the selfish route, parliamentarily protected from death, poverty and misery they cause, but those with blue blood who still give our British Empire memberships, those who we, a secular nation, ask God to save. I wonder how they're coping, dealing with all that racism and paedophilia internally must be really hard. I'll be proud of Britain when financial protection is afforded to all, especially those who spend their days and patience on people and patients. Tell me, did that 1% pay rise take 1% of your sleep that night? Or did you care for the carers whose allowance you disallowed when you raised minimum wage, but not their threshold? If they retrain like Fatima, the country's future wouldn't be in cyber, rather in ruin. But what was your burn this year, Boris? I'll be proud of Britain when rights aren't political pawns to be protected and sacrificed, no matter whether you or your book believe in a group's reality or struggle. All rights are human rights, and when that's no longer a matter of opinion, debate, or a valid manifesto item, and I have the right to protest for that. Until then, I will not raise a flag. Until then, maybe take those flagpoles and use them as spines for Tory MPs that not only manipulate our Union Jack into political symbols, but also let down the average Jack with pedantic policies that seem good on the face of it, but when in fruition, feed frowns. Jack wants to be proud, unified, but they need more. We all do. Thank you. Mum and Dad, it doesn't get any worse than that. The next one I've got is again about British and what it means to be this. This came out of a conversation with a friend of mine, Felix, at our youth theatre collective encounters, who also did serve a shout out in my journey. And we noted how many times British values had been used as an excuse for the bigotry we'd sustained. So I wrote this. The phrase "I'm British" often gets used as a prefix to bigotry. Patriotism, now a valid reason for hate. British values, an excuse for prehistoric points of view. A passport away from criticism. A wall against education. But what are the values you speak of, and what do they really stand for? 1. Rule of law. Actually, in case you weren't aware, hate is now a crime. Any kind of hate, verbal or physical, no matter whether it was acceptable in your day. So that word you just called the poor woman in the shop a penny short for the food for her child, yeah, that broke your precious tradition. 2. Democracy. Everyone gets a voice. Everyone, even those with the guts to stand up to the people who share your skewed ideals. Those with the nerve to stand for change. Instead of sharing a cowardly Facebook post they barely understand. So those trans rights activists you threw your bottle at were just being British. Individual liberty, freedom to do as you please within the law. And that's British law, not the toxic laws of oppression you believe in. That means that a teenage boy wearing makeup, you know, the one you called a snowflake, he was just being an upstanding British gentleman. Mutual respect and tolerance. Now this is a big one. Respect is not earned. It's a given right, even if you believe something's being shoved down your throat. That means beating up that lesbian couple on the tube was, you guessed it, not very British. Just to recap, the things these values don't cover you for include tearing people down, hate-fueled violence, and downright nastiness. They can help people understand how to be not just a better Brit, but a better person. And if we all understood this, we'd be a better nation and a better world. Thank you. I'll be back soon. Thank you again for listening.
Well, let's unmute yourselves and just give our feature, our special guest. Don't go over the top, she's still a little shit. Anyway, I've got so many stories about Kizzy, which is, and the one thing about Kizzy, which you've just heard, and the reason why is, I'm going to tell you this very quick story, is that I've done up-teen Zooms, and this is my last Zoom I'm going to do for a while, yes. Anyway, and I usually appeal to the same people. You know, I was going for the videos, a special K comes along, Kathy Carson takes a sabbatical, you know, you want a bit of humour, you're dragging Clive, you know, Leslie Constable, she's serene, and Chris Dickinson, she stalks me everywhere, but hey, who's complaining? But there's some serious rumours going about me and Chris, but you know, and everyone's beautiful. But everywhere I go, every time I put her, I don't even invite her. I just expect her to be there, Kizzy. And, she, you know, I might be doing a Zoom special for Indigenous ethnic noises from outer space. And Kizzy be there. Yes, I've got a poem for that. And, you know, the other week, I can't remember what she's doing. Oh, I don't know. I haven't got a poem, but she comes along everywhere. And I do not invite her anywhere. But I'm so glad she comes everywhere. And one of my favourite times is when it's about a year or so ago when us Brits, we went across to the Americas, me, Quentin Green, Rowan Samuel, and Kizzy. And we went over to a Zoom America, and it was a Say It Louder. And we was all a little meeking, the big going off. And all these Americans were going, hey, yeah, thank you, you Brits, come over here. And they're giving it all this stuff. I'm looking around and none of the Americans are here and did that. They said, oh, yeah, come on. And for an hour, they just like ignored us. Then I sort of like, I'm had enough of this. And I said, we're from UK, we've got our problems too. And then I unleashed Kizzy onto them. These big, grown, I can't say the word, Black Americans, gunslinging. you are the ones what have escaped from Starsky and Hutch. You know the ones last seen on Kojak. They saw, hey, a 16-year-old blonde girl, and they were speechless. They absolutely speechless. So that is one of my favourite stories. I've got lots of things where she's mugged me off, but I won't even go about that. Next is probably the Queen of Staffordshire, and everything from what happens around her. I first met Kizzy at one of her do's about Alzheimer's. She still needs to apologise for that, but. Let me introduce you to all, is Mel Warder Woodbridge.
So thanks everyone. My name's Mel Wardle Woodend, and as Gary said, I'm the Staffordshire Poet Laureate. And I first met Kizzy about, well, just over a year ago now, when she accidentally came to one of John and mine Words Stafford events. She came along because it was Myths and Legends, I think, and one of her friends had invited her, but she didn't realise it was poetry. And when she got there, she couldn't leave because it would have been really rude. So she stayed, and she loved it. And so, yep, she's been with us ever since, and she's been the best supporter of Word Stafford throughout all of our season 3. We have a slam and an open mic once a month, and she's won 2nd or 3rd place more times than anyone else who's taken part in the slam over the season. And she's in our final tomorrow night, so we're really looking forward to hearing her work. But I really admire the writing that Kizzy does. I think that to be so tuned in and switched on at such a young age, and to be able to write maturely about so many social and political issues is really important, and she can do that. And I remember once at one of our events, Kizzy said that she struggled sometimes with empathy. And I wanted to think about that, because I think she's wrong. I think she has so much empathy, and it comes through in her poetry and in the words that she writes. So tonight, the poem that I'm going to read, which I'm dedicating it to Kizzy, is a poem I wrote for Empathy Day last year, because I think books are a vehicle to empathy, and poetry is as well. And I think Kizzy writes with so much empathy. So this is just one from me. Walk a mile in someone else's shoes, an acceptance shown of another's view. Even if reasons are not really understood or known, empathy grows. Eyes half closed, I step into a book where characters make me think twice. To open my eyes and really look, to consider a situation and to question wrong or right. Words impact and capture me, enrapture me, opening my eyes, opening my mind to empathy. I ponder and consider a different perspective for the very first time. Books cast a spell to capture you and capture me. They capture all who open them up to read. Magic, ink-filled pages, adjectives and verbs, words, a spell passed through the ages. And through the narrative of another, I hear my own voice and find a comrade I have never met, yet their story is mine. Experiences are shared, and I'm no longer alone. I'm not the only one struggling in this tumultuous world, and I barely dare to breathe as I read. The words flow, my mind is engaged, and something transfers into my soul from out of the page. The book takes its warm, inky fingers and firmly holds my hands. My mind and my heart expand. Together, the book and I navigate its final chapter, and with a sigh, I stroke its spine and place my friend upon its shelf. I turn away with a stronger certainty. I have seen into a mirror of the self. My outlook's changed. I found an unanticipated understanding in an unexpected place. I've been in someone else's shoes, and they have been in mine. Finally, I know I'm not alone. I've seen into someone else's soul, heard someone else's story, and now I understand. Empathy flows. Empathy. So I hope you have a lovely night, Kizzy. You really deserve all these people being here for you tonight. You work so hard with your poetry, and I can't wait to see where the future takes you. So thanks for having me.
Thanks.
You're muted, Gary. You're on mute.
But thank you. Thank you, Mel, and thank for all you've done in the poetry community.
Pleasure.
Another one quick little story. For those who was in the waiting room who came early, we was having a parent off. In comes the waiting room came the world famous the Earl Jones of poetry, Mr. Lantern Carrier, and then came the into the waiting room somebody who's challenging Henry L. Jones to be the coolest person since Morgan Freeman, Chaos, and we actually had Who Loves Kizzy More. 3 grown men all saying we love Kizzy more. I was only telling lies because I can't stand her. But the next person has is every day I've got a message from about 10 different people, from Cynthia, from Francesca, from all sorts of people I don't even know. Can you put Carl on? Can you put chaos on? My life is full of chaos. I don't need no more chaos. I'm a strict mess.
Chaos,
So let me welcome to chaos.
Chaos.
Everybody needs chaos.
It is a pleasure to take part in this praise of Kizzy. I am an elder, so therefore I represent the past. It makes me very proud and happy to see such a young lady coming on behind us to represent the future. The sharpness of her mind and the depth of her thought gives me great happiness. So therefore, this evening, I would like to share with you a poem called Happiness. Happiness is like an improvised jazz song. It can come on slow and bluesy or fast and up-tempo. Not really hip-hopping, rather more like bebopping as it carries you along. Happiness, I think, can never be, nor not be a plan. It's like a wave. It's like a groove. It's like a vibe. It's like when a really clicking thing takes over members of a free jamming band. But we as intellectuals, we like to revise and summarize and examine up close and remove the surprise. But in spite of ourselves, happiness can from the bluest of funk still arise. You see, happiness warms like a summer sun. Happiness can make life so much fun. Happiness can encompass all beings from a senior to a child. And happiness is usually always accompanied by a smile. It makes no difference if it's yours or mine. Happiness always makes the eyes and the soul shine. So just be happy. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I want to call you Carl, but it's chaos we know and love. Thank you so much. My recommendation to all of you is to get a cleaner. The reason why is don't just get any cleaner. Get Kathy Ray's a cleaner. Unfortunately, because she hates you. Your cleaner hates you. But lucky for us, she adores Kizzy. Next, Kathy Ray.
Hello, have I managed to unmute myself? Have I unmuted myself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You muted yourself again.
Yeah, you muted yourself. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, now you're good.
Oh.
There.
I'm not touching anything. So this poem is for Kizzy. I know she likes this one. I firmly believe that she will rule the world at some point. So it's obviously best to get on her good side now. A remarkable, remarkable young person. This poem's for you. Your cleaner hates you. Oh, not in the way that she hates Crocs, Boris Johnson, the sort of people who talk about going for a cheeky Nando's. Remember those, but make no mistake, your cleaner hates you. And just because she knows the name of your dog and your guinea pig and your husband, and remembers to ask after your son studying, what was it? Conflict resolution and macrame at Wolverhampton, Derby or DM, you do not be fooled. Your cleaner hates you. Sometimes your cleaner wonders what it is you do all day. Given you have a woman to clean your house, another woman to iron your clothes, another woman, a bit younger, a bit posher, to walk your dogs, they hate you too. You tell your cleaner you have projects. As you waft your way to your study on the 3rd floor, your room of one's own. And what you don't do there ever is move the mountains of malodorous and mouldering muck, some homage to a long gone undergraduate lifestyle. And your cleaner would like you to know that emptying an ashtray into a wicker waste paper basket doesn't help at all and just adds to the hoovering. Your cleaner hates you. Your cleaner hates the rumpled, tissues you leave inside your unmade bed. She hates the ring of pubic pelt around your bath. But at least she knows for sure you're no natural blonde. Your cleaner hates you. One day, come the glorious revolution, you will find yourself not with your back against the wall, but instead issued with cleaner's clothing. Ill-fitting grey joggers and a hoodie full of holes where neat bleach has burned through fabric to meet bare flesh, and then you will become your cleaner's cleaner, and your cleaner will look you in the eye and she will know that you hate her, but your cleaner, your ex-cleaner, well, actually, your ex-cleaner won't give a flying. Thank you so, so much, people. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Pleasure.
She has the best Instagram in the world. Firstly, as you can tell by my wonderful Adore, I am not a Nick Lavelle. I am not. So if I have problem, take it on and off the spotlight. I've already turned at least 3 people's videos off. It's not an exalt of my power I never had. It's just basic because I'm rubbish with technology. So I apologize. I will get there. All right. I'm hopefully she Lily.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know what hair Mel breeds them, but this is Lily, another person who's come to some of my events, and I just went and just been blown away. And hopefully, after Lily, we're gonna have our Macclesfield fan. If she gives me the thumbs up, yeah. Well, I don't know. So over to you, Lily.
Thank you. So I've got one poem tonight, but first I just want to talk a little about Kizzy. So I think, well, without COVID and all this situation and locking down and all that, I never would have actually met Kizzy. I think being able to come to all these virtual events has really allowed her to break into the community. And that's a really bright thing that's come out of this quite dark time. So this poem is one of my more outspoken ones in my abstract descriptive way. And it orientates around women's rights and also racism. So this is called Dear My Sorry Heart. I am the change you need. Like the hurricane of an endless dream, the Tetris days and nights of fear that no one likes and no one hears. I'll steal away your pretty soul and carve into a pumpkin's mold its orange skin is stained like yours, uncleansable forevermore. Johnny let his back break. He drove the stake, his first mistake, through his skull and let his song dull. His haplessly hapless nights of ever afters curl now through the cracks in your strange smile, shaped by a hand that is not your own. It is darker, whiter, a little bit brighter and earthy, like controversy. So, dear my sorry heart, Connie hides behind 19 windows and 14 bricks. Her mind is made of wood and sticks. She's a phallus on the side of a half pipe dreaming. And Bon Jovi told her to not stop believing, but she finds it hard to break from a cell that was so gracefully formed and fits her so well. Lightning flashes in her eyes. All they see are her thunder thighs. The fact that she has skills to shake is nothing compared to the abuse she takes. So, dear my sorry heart, my world is not your world, but we can try to understand. Let the light in, let it kindle. And then the spark sets off, black meets white, colour is born afresh and all right. We cannot make a new place without the purge and the hate, but to change, it's okay. We live on that way. So, dear my sorry heart, I'm sick of this old world where I am a lyrical connoisseur and all he has to say is thank you. Where my death is scandal and another's is sample. Where my gender is a curse and my rhyme becomes a verse. Where my sorry heart is sorry evermore. Thank you, everyone. I just want to say I'm really enjoying the night so far and I can't wait to see what comes next.
Thank you, Lily. I can always remember Finn Hall saying, after hearing Lily, then Kizzy said, oh, I suddenly feel old. All right. The next, just to tell you what's coming along, because these are the only things I've got. Next is Hannah Edge. I just like the name, that she's edgy. I just like, I was like thinking, how politically left-wing can you get? Macclesfield and edgy. Then we have probably a little break. Then we can have Jamie with some musical tones to carry it on. But I would like you to just think about, we've just got Lily here and then we did, and there's Kizzy. How did you learn at school? Did you have a blackboard and chalk? Did you have a slate? Did you have an interactive whiteboard? No, looking around at the generations here, and it's just amazing to see such a wide scheme of things. And Michael's, even Michael Stinder looks really young tonight. Anyway, so just have a think. What did you learn on? Anyway, over to Hannah Edge.
I think I'm unmuted. Let me just check. Yeah, I'm unmuted. Hello. So there's lots of you that I know and there's lots of you that I don't know. And that's all thanks to Kizzy because she's bloody amazing. I've only known her a few months and every time I hear her read, it just like an arrow in the heart. And it's like, oof. To be that erudite, and when I find out how young you are, mate, Jesus Christ, like the maturity of the soul of somebody much older is beautiful. So I'm going to do a politics one on our review. So I hope you do like it. I don't know if you've heard this one before. It's called Forsaken. Full of hatred, discrimination, buzzing from the power of your guns and tasers, you make judgment calls as though you have the right to say who lives or dies. I see you, we see you, as you pick off our black friends like your ancestors did. You stomp through lives like you're above all others. You kneel on necks, chokehold innocence, ignore pleas for help, for a simple breath. The cycle goes on without you learning. You deny this world's true history, implant it with lies that you implant it with lies that paint you as the best, the only, the supreme. Centuries of bloodshed as you stomped across the globe, sticking flags in the earth like you did to the moon. You landed on far-flung shores, welcomed by natives, offered trade, gifts and love, but you pierced their trust with swords, muskets, and arrogance. You stand on their bones, dehumanize their pain, devalue their lives. You crush hope like weeds in the cracks of your concrete patio. but they are wild roses and we are their thorns. Their roots have entwined beneath the soil of our dead. Summer has come. The flowers are erupting, blossoming, alive. So yeah, that's Forsaken. Don't have time for one more because I have a football one that's a bit more cheerful that I quite like to do.
Oh, how to get sweet talk the host football one. Oh, go on.
It's only a little baby one, I promise.
As long as it's not about Tottenham.
I swear to God, it would never be about Tottenham. You couldn't pay me to make it about Tottenham. It's called Watch and Pray, and it's about all football. See the modern dance on the holy watered turf, the yells and the pacing of the tracksuited coach, the oomph of the ball as it leaves a player's foot, praise for the keeper as he leaps like he's winged, joyous in the crowd as in unison we sing. This heart pumps with football, calcio, soccer, football, tiki-taka, gegenpress, Beelzebub, or park the bus. The chips and the flicks, back passes, headers, goals from playmakers, strikers, fullbacks, last-minute scrambles, off-the-line clearances, match of the day fanfare, Chris Kamara gaffes, transfer speculations and youthful revelations, like insane sums for unknown journeymen. It's red versus blue, king versus country, dreams coming true when a team knows how to dance. Time for the weekend ritual of praying to a ball. Armchair is our prayer mat where we cry, cheer and jeer. Living for the derby, the championship fights, cup-winning nights and relegation plights. We keep our faith, win, lose or draw. There you go. Cheerful.
Oh, that is probably the best poem I've ever heard. Who needs T.S. Eliot? That is like the best. That is the best you can. Oh, Hannah.
Thank you.
Oh,
amazing to meet you.
Just hear that poem. Absolutely. Oh, football's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming home. 3 lines on my shirt. No one. Oh, sorry, got carried away. I've got football on the telly. Italy. All right. I'm so excited. Before we have just a little 2-minute break, I'm going to give you a treat. It is wanted by everyone. Apparently, he's doing the Brits next year, but as he lives in Scotland, he might not be allowed. He might be the best up for the best international singer. Let me introduce you, Mr. Jamie McCormack.
Hiya. Can you hear me okay? Aye. All right, can I just say what an absolute honour it is to be here tonight. I'm so delighted to be here, and I'm gonna give you 2 songs if that's okay. One on guitar and one on keyboard, because variety is the spice of life. I'd better plug the guitar in. That would be a good idea. Alright. Can you hear the guitar okay? Aye? Yeah? Thumbs up, cool. Thank you. This one's called Bring the Curtain Down. Release the hounds, call out the cars, lock him up in vanilla bars, playing to the crowd you want to please. He must never be let loose, 'cause he's too big for the house, and he'd only ruin her cities. So who you gonna be when the lights go out? And who you gonna be when the curtain comes down? Cardboard boxes cannot hold all your stories left untold, all the secrets in your head. Underneath all of that flesh, you were living a slow death. Better off that you were dead. So who you gonna be when the lights go out? And who you gonna be when the curtain comes down? So who you gonna be when the lights go out? And who you gonna be when the curtain comes down? He was never meant for here. He was always far too queer. They told him he was too big for his rainbow ducks. You denied all that you were, but you fed the Minotaur that you kept locked up within Pandora's dressing box. Are you so blind you cannot see that the man you want to be has been right here all along? Open up and let him out. Show the world what he's about. You have waited far too long. So who you gonna be when the lights go out? And who you gonna be when the curtain comes down? So who you gonna be when the lights go out? And who you gonna be when the curtain comes down? So who you gonna be? What is there left when the lights go out? And who you gonna be when the curtain comes down, 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 down? Who you gonna be? What is there left when the lights go out? Who you gonna be when the curtain comes down, 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 down? Bring it down, down, down. Bring the curtain down, down, down. Bring the curtain down, down, down. It's time to bring the curtain down.
Everyone just unmute yourself and just give a massive huge round of applause.
Oh.
Me.
Thank you.
Oh,
my, that's my coming out film.
All right.
I wrote that the night I came out. I came out to my dad. Right. Just a second till I get this guitar off.
Just to let you know, Tish is in the house. Why are you getting ready, Jamie?
Okay.
I was thinking while you were playing that, and what a beautiful song it is. And to have you on the Fed Sisters on the same bill, you know, it must be an important night, and the Queen. But I've been going through all my videos and trying to edit them and different today, and it's amazing to see. I spoke to Gregory earlier on and see how young we looked a year ago, before we'd been stained by lockdown. Kathy could have been my paper boy. She looked so young in the video I saw today. But it's not only just that. It's just watch everybody go. Listen to Lily and Kizzy and grow. And I can remember booking Jamie in October for Skylar, and it was brilliant then. But it's just amazing now. All right, that's me talking shit.
Cheers, Gary. Big posies. Right, this next one I'm gonna play is called Masks, and I know this is a favourite of Tish, who's here tonight. So. Ticking clock counts the hours, the videos, the parchment flowers, part-time wages living by the sea. Time passes by, the months, the years, the shifting sands, the falling tears. Can you remember how this came to be? Can't you see me falling as I walk? Can't you hear me screaming as I talk? Is it too much to ask that we throw away the masks? I'm sick of second guessing in the dark. Talks, it screams and it bawls of factory clocks and singing dolls, of empty glasses and ashtrays full of dreams. Paranoid voices smooth as silk, flicking switches, I spill the milk. I'm growing older and fraying at the seams. Can't you see me falling as I walk? Can't you hear me screaming as I talk? Is it too much to ask that we throw away the masks? I'm sick of second guessing in the dark. Can't you see me falling as I walk? Can't you hear me screaming as I talk? Is it too much to ask that we throw away the masks? I'm sick of second guessing you. Can't you see me
ladies and gentlemen, unmute yourselves.
Woo! That's awesome.
Oh, Amy.
Baby Jesus. Oh,
All right. The agent to the stars, Tish Camp, has just put all these details in the.
Bless her. Bless her.
Has put all of.
Tuesday the 16th of June, time to arrive, not the 15th. And that's 6 p.m. Pacific time, is that right, Dan?
Tish Camp's available for marketing, pre and after dinners, if you wanted bookings. Anyway.
And artist mentoring, publicist, etc. Thank you very much.
Dan, can you control your woman, please? All right. All right, gonna have a 2-minute break. Because I've got, as some of you know, I look after my elderly mum, and I've got to cook her dinner. So this is the minute. It's going to take 2 minutes. So when you hear the ping, you can unmute yourselves and talk back. It's nice to come back, and we're coming back with Kizzy, Kathy Carson, Rose Drew. Yes, Rose. Cynthia, not just any Cynthia. All week I've been calling her Cynthia Payne, and probably only Clive and Leslie don't understand who Cynthia Payne is. So Cynthia's to come. So more Kizzy, and I'm going to take just about 2 minutes to cook my mum's tea and check the football scores. Bye.
Hey Gary.
Yeah.
Don't mention the football scores when you come back, because I'm recording it.
All I can say is Macclesfield are doing all right.
We are, mate. We've got Robbie Savage now. We'll be good. We'll be good.
Birmingham reject.
Careful, I'll tell you the score. I've got it on right behind my phone.
It's great. It's great, Robbie Savage. He's great. Yeah.
He's a legend, mate. Yeah, no. I'd rather him than the guy we had before, who basically just ran off with all the money and didn't pay the players. So, and sent us to nothing. Thank God for the Phoenix rising us again. That's not English, but you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
I'm a Birmingham fan. I'm still waiting for that Phoenix to rise again.
It'll happen. It'll happen. I quite like Birmingham, in all honesty. I think it's great to see the local teams do well. So, yeah. Don't tell my boyfriend I said that, though. He is Stoke.
Right, okay.
Someone has to support them, bless.
Yeah.
I'm quick. I'm in the middle of making what?
What's this? 25. Okay.
My mum and dad would like to say a massive thank you to everyone. They've enjoyed seeing all exist. I was just trying to get the people that my mum heard on the website I just did. And they didn't. They really enjoyed meeting you all. Love your background, Lisa.
Hello! How are you? How's everyone?
I'm good. I'm good. I think that's the first time anyone met my parents. I think it's the first time they've come to anything, see people's faces. Like, not on the camera off the entire time.
I had to find a couple of books to put my iPad on because otherwise I'd be down here. And I had to get a drink.
Hey Lisa, you okay?
Hello.
Hi Kizzy, I haven't said hello properly to you and everyone else. Kathy, I can see. Lantern Carrier. It's nice to see lots of people.
I'd just like to say that to anyone that's sent me a message or a DM while we've been on, if my replies have been misspelled or really short, I'm sorry, there's just a lot going on my screen and my brain is fried.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it, keeping track of stuff?
Yeah.
Well, that's why you need that's why you've got Gary as your backup.
Yes. There's a lot going on at the minute. And you saw, I weren't expecting this many people to be here, so this is really exciting.
Nice.
Well, I hear people were being turned away. There were so many people clamoring to come and.
Woo!
What's it
I'm
like
back.
being a superstar, Kizzy?
She'd still be Greta Thunberg on acid. I want her first book to be called Greta Thunberg on acid. I'm back. She's got the meal, she's got a cup of tea, and she's got her tablets. Whew! And I've just burned some serious calories. Right there. Apart from I've lost my list. Right, my list of that's come. And it's really nice to see. We've got people here for the Isle of Man just jumped in. And talking about people, how many people who we've turned away. Here's some of the messages I got from people who just couldn't make it. Well, you know, another young person who's basically a cheeky kid is Daniel Kay and his sister. He's just unfortunate, but he's got a really good video to be put out for it. Gabrielle Gay's coming later. Emily Rose, she couldn't. She had an urgent appointment, but really gutted. Hannah Marie is working tonight. Revolt Poet. Rohan Sanders is still trying to make it. The list goes on. Oh, Andy Summers. The list goes on. The people who's who are just gutted that they can't be here. It's absolutely amazing, and I'm going to introduce you to before we go back to the lady of the moment. Mr. I like Zach. Never met him, but Kizzy said if Zach's not here, I'm not being here. So
can I introduce Zach then?
yeah.
Zach, you never met him. Zach was the first. Zach ran the first event that I spoke at. I went to the Myths and Legends night and I spoke to Daniel and I said I want to write something. Can I join in? And he told me to go to speak your piece, and Lisa was there, and he was really welcoming and really chill, and like I think if he'd have been different, I might not have carried on. So thanks, Zach.
That's a tremendous statement, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can say it's kind of like an interesting kind of moment. Well, a lot of people sort of honoring you, which is cool. So, whereas like stories of that kind and so far, I probably just would just think of and not necessarily say. But I guess in this moment, it's a good time to say, like, you know, and you're probably aware of it, but it should be said. Why not? That you create a lot of inspiration for a lot of people in terms of the myriad of approaches that you have to your craft. People who are really into poetry, do it all the time. People who just got back into it. People who just want to try it. From my perspective, right? There's a bunch of perspectives on the call. From my perspective, it's seeing someone who then took the idea of trying that and the tremendous courage that comes with that moment and transformed it to like speed, just like going for it wherever there's space to do it, wherever there's room to try it, wherever there's room to perform. She's there, she's doing it. So these are things that inspire those who like to do this, right? So I just want you to know that you're creating that moment for a lot of people just by doing your practice of kind of, you know, honing your craft and putting it out there. So that's really dope and really appreciate it. And thank you for the opportunity to perform. So yeah, I guess on that same note, just thinking of losing the way and finding it back and what's going on with all that as the world kind of opens back up. I wrote Poem and Blues. The future haunts like a gambling specter somewhere down the road, half non-negotiable, half irrelevant. In the past, gone, already forgotten, twisted to suit the needs and ends of today's greatest villains. The present waits, afraid. So here we have time and all its petty selves trying to survive as this thing or hell as something else, who knows, conquering with whatever it has left to work with, like Cyrus on a soapbox in Van Cortlandt Park. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Etc., etc. And yet I'm still glad to be here. What's that about? Perhaps that's blues. Perhaps that's blues. So that's Poem and Blues. And if I can, just another quick to my inspiration, which I wrote in search of said inspiration. Thought of it just, yeah, that's it. That's what it was. Writing until just, hey, where you at? Come here. I'm trying to find you. To my inspiration. Light a cigarette if you have to, or incense if you know what's good, or green wild growing weed if you need it, something with fragrance, because supposedly memory is wrapped up in smell, and I want to remember you, my inspiration. Even sheets of reflective water need something sometimes to smooth itself out. so that someone else can tell, or at least faith believe when I tell them over coffee or a microphone or beer, that I can still remember its face. I can still remember its ears, its eyes, its nose, its waist, its everything over these years and centuries and so forth, even though I wasn't supposed to know what I had till it was gone. My inspiration. It's out of place that the shape of your cheeks or the way your eyebrows move when you whisper could be whisked away by gadfly distractions and magpie reactions and the mad buzzing of nothing on thumb scroll screens, interruptions to the ever-running bleach and black soap opera of my dreams. I want nothing more than to remember you and prove it with everything that I do. You were my friend before the universe got to know me. Does that make you my God? You were my brother, and before my brothers, and my sister before my sisters. You were with me in the beginning of time, when I was just starting out, learning how to ride. My inspiration, holding my hand tight when my life began with a shout, a desperate exhalation, like a trumpet player into his horn. I wasn't shouting for my mother when I first saw light and life. I was calling for you, whoever you might be called. I was wrestling, testing my lungs in the hopes that when I finally applied diction and spoke, I would be ready for you and you would be wrestling too. And together we'd put on a show, two hustling luchadores, me, the heel, flawed and scheming, pushing the engine forward with misguided hopes of owning stolen glory, and you, the opposite, righteous and indomitable, empowering the audience with the saving grace held in the pure act of trying to do something right. In this spectacular spectacle, we'd fight, we'd grapple, and we'd try to get some truth out. You and me, my inspiration. Sometimes we'd succeed, other times it'd just be me or you, and we'd walk away and everyone we knew would agree we'd settle the score next time. But at this time of night, by lithium ion candlelight, I'm looking at your face, your identity. You walk around in like a costume collecting money from strangers who don't know me, but love you, my inspiration.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you all. All right, something I need to tell you all. The parents have gone, so you can say what you want about her now. You can tell the whole truth. You don't have to be nice. You can just say the truth, okay? Let me reintroduce you, the lady of the moment, Kizzy Wade.
Hello again. It's been lovely to hear everyone. Yeah, my parents have gone. They wanted to thank you all for being so welcoming. I think they were just happy to know that you all exist. But those of you that are familiar with my stuff will know that I started off writing about nature, and then quite soon after that, I sort of went into disability because I have cerebral palsy. I'm in a wheelchair, so I mean, it was an obvious thing. But recently, I wrote this poem, Achievement. I've always been told that I set my own bar. I am the only one limiting me to what I can achieve. My own thoughts, doubts, and self-confidence. And while that's a nice slogan to cushion or a verse from inside of a card, let's get real. See, my disability means my achievements are always othered. Isn't she switched on for a disabled kid? Good disabled athlete, good grade for a disabled student. And all those things are true, but they'd be true without the mention of my physical limitations. Sometimes the word disabled seems like a synonym for second rate or a shocked face emoji. A but or a wow despite all that. And it's not a vocabulary issue. In fact, this person's first language, differently abled, doesn't help. They're just an awful attempt at dressing up stigma whilst highlighting it. If it's not relevant, don't mention it. For those who think it's a compliment to acknowledge the struggle, here's why it's not. You might be the best disability ally there is, but the chances of someone in that room, the default response will be sympathy. Unfortunately, sympathy often overpowers respect, and while the former is often brought on by my four wheels, the latter is something I have to fight for. So when not in focus, the least reminders of my difference, the better. Some people might accuse me of being ashamed. I'm not. I'm proud of what I've achieved because of and in spite of my sat down position. I just wish it wasn't a constant prefix to my life. You see, on a good day, my disability means nothing to me. It's surprisingly easy to forget about after 16 years. So easy, in fact, in my first Zoom job interview, I forgot to mention it. I understand that that might come across hypocritical. A whole poem about sounding disabled from a disability activist. But this is sort of my point. Here, inside the poem, we need to concentrate on my experience. During a political debate or an exam, we probably don't. Like most things, it's all about context. Thank you, and yesterday, who I noticed celebrating that job interview was with you, and it did take you 4 weeks to ask me if I was disabled or not, and I realised I'd forgotten to mention it. But the next point I want to do, recently something sort of mad happened to me. I mentioned earlier that I attend youth theatre, or I have done since lockdown, and at some point in March, my friend egged me on to, my friend Ted egged me on to submit a self-tape to the National Youth Theatre of Great Britain, because, and I quote, "It would be a laugh, and what's the worst thing that could happen? They say no, right?" And I ended up getting in, and meaning I will spend some time away in summer, which is absolutely insane, considering I got there on like original poetry and stuff. But in order to self-indulge and celebrate that a bit, I decided to bring the monologue, the poem that got me past that self-tape. It's called Expiration, and I wrote it because in my life, because I have a lot of friends with like life-limiting disorders. I find myself thinking a lot about legacy, and when I was at Right Club, shout out Right Club, we did a exercise based on some Frankenstein quotes, and they immediately made me think of that. So this is Expiration. I know now the span of my life, and I left debating whether I even desired to. The pressure to expire with elegance leaves a taste ever souring at a pace that cannot be replicated in speech, in poetry, nor in the reading thought. As the scurrying rodent of regret weighs down the hands of the ticking clock inside me, the fleas the host don't carry the black death, but instead infect me with the decay. The once bassy sound of my heart has been diminished into two tones. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. So what is left for me to do? What can I do? Just wane as the moon does, in the hope there is something to meet me at sunrise? Or do I reflect? Reflect both internally and externally. Look for what deserves a part of me, and leave light, warmth, intense enough to scorch my name into this world. So when the church bells do chime, whatever lies beneath that coffin lid, I do not go cold. I do not expire. Thank you. The final one of this slot is a piece around feminism. Now, I want to make it clear to start off with that, as you'll find out, this is not an anti-feminist piece. I completely stand with feminism. It's just the way it is affecting my life and the way it has been used against me. I felt the need to write about. You say you are feminism, my elevator to equality, the thing that will take me up to the floors of the businesses I want to lead, the thing that will take me up to the stages I want to be on, the thing that will take me up to the plinth I want to speak behind. But all I get from you is down talking, being pushed away from what really matters. You say you are a ballot paper, choice and the freedom to make it. You say you allow me to be whatever I choose, to wear whatever I choose, to be whoever I want to be, and yet you instruct me on who I should be. You say you are a mother, praising, loving, accepting, but all I get is scolding on the internet from people who claim to speak in your name, scolding for ridiculous things. My appearance, the way I act, no acceptance. You say you are all the crowd at a protest, but you will not protest for me. Am I right to be different to what you think I should be? You say I protest against you. I do not. You say you are me, in baggy jeans or even in dress. But you are not me. You refuse to acknowledge my struggles, even when I make them clear in rhyme or in verse, because your struggles do not line up with mine, and you like to think that my struggles invalidate yours. They do not. Am I difficult, the thorn in your bouquet, the thing that pricks your finger and reminds you that not all women are like you? Am I non-conforming, the blot on your perfect group photo, the thing that will be your everlasting memory of the people you left behind? Am I too blunt, the misquote in OK magazine, not PR friendly, too outspoken and not in the right way? Am I too stubborn? The non-sharer of your Facebook post, refusing to follow you blindly without critical thinking. Aren't I straight enough? The crease in the patronising pages of your self-help book, they don't help me, but alienate me. Now this poem might come across as anti-feminist. It's not. In fact, if my experiences were different, then I may consider myself one. But what you need to understand is you, as a movement, are incapable of speaking for all women unless you include all women and practice what you preach, accepting them. Thank you. I'll be back soon for a final slot, I think.
I'll be back, says Kizzy Wade. Bigger than better than before, here to terminate all known points. All right. Next. Next, I'm going to give you a clue who's next. I've got loads of tissue here. Who's next? You can have to guess who's next. Well, the next one. I saw her today earlier, and admittedly, I can't. She's had a day off. She's had a day off from her work. She's meant to be tending to the sick. And to be honest with you, when I saw her today at 3 o'clock, she looked a bit rough. But look at her now. She dresses her well. Thank God for Ruby and David, I say. Thank God. Let me introduce you. Sponsored by Andrex, Kathy Carson.
Oh, you're so cheeky, so cheeky. Kizzy, absolute honour to be here tonight just to celebrate your work and celebrate your impact on all of us as an artist and a poet and a person. Wow, just amazing. So you've asked me to make people uncomfortable and to raise some awareness. So there's only one piece that I can do, and the hat's going on. So let's raise some awareness. I'm going to choose tonight to raise some awareness on homelessness. So this is November song. November, Belfast is Baltic, but the Christmas shoppers are out in force already. And my doorway stinks tonight of urine and whiskey and unknown things. I put my scarf up over my nose against the stench. I focus on breathing through my mouth. I'm watching shoppers who think they're cold because they have to walk 10 minutes from this shopping centre to their air-conditioned 4x4. Well, trust me, they have never been cold. I mean, so cold that your bones turn to steel. Soldered together at the joints, making the slightest movement impossible. I mean, so cold that you don't drink after 4 o'clock because the thought of getting out of your sleeping bag at night for a wee makes you cry, like real, actual tears. A lady bought me a coffee earlier. Nice enough, I suppose, until she said, I didn't want to give you money, love, like in case you drank it. The last time I drank out here was my first week when I couldn't sleep. I woke up with a strange man's hands in my places and spaces. I have not drank since. And when I told Kelly she gave me 8 nappy pins, he only groped me. I said, I'm not pregnant. No, she said. And she pressed them into my palm. You fasten your t-shirt to your knickers, then your jumper to your jeans, then your coat to everything. It'll give you time to scream. Or if I know you, time to fight. a man crouches down and he puts a pound in my dish. Have you no people, love? And I almost answer, almost. I have had people all my life, caseworker people, social worker people, oh, and now floating support worker people, community outreach people. I had a chance to have people once. I was fostered when I was 12. I went to live with this lady called Sally and her 3 daughters, and Sally loved hard. She made you your breakfast, sandwiches for school and dinner. She washed all your clothes, Chris. She ran you a bath, but I had no idea how to react to that. Where was the temper? Where was the snap that I was used to? I did not trust her. So I decided that I would expose her. You see, in my world, nobody was that kind, not really. So I lied, I stole, I cursed, and I talked back. And when that didn't work, I went to her weakness. I went after her kids. On the day she saw me hit her youngest, she stood with her mouth open like a wound, but she still didn't snap. She sat me down a few days later, though, and she said she was sorry. Jesus, she was sorry. She said she had tried really hard, but that it was best for everyone if I didn't stay. She took my face in her hands and she kissed me on the forehead and she said, someday you're going to have to let somebody love you. And the way that she looked at me, God, that look, it was like standing in the full heat of the sun. Arms stretched wide, head back, eyes closed, letting the warmth fill all your spaces right to the edges so there aren't any gaps left. That was my chance to have people, and I blew it. Christ, it's freezing out here tonight. There's a lady coming towards me now with this North Face jacket and this Radley bag held just so, and she looks like she can afford it. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to ask her for change. I've been out here 4 months. I've never asked, but there's £1.34 in my dish and it's 10 o'clock at night, so this is it. I'm a real life beggar now. I can fall no further. I've watched others do this so many times. Can you spare some change? Can you spare some change? Can you spare some change? Becoming more invisible with each plea, so now it's my turn. No shame, no gain, but just as I'm about to speak, she looks at me with utter disgust and says, no change, and I can't help it. Humiliation explodes inside me. I never asked you. You stuck up cow. I hunker down inside my sleeping bag. And I check, but nappy pins are still in place. I close my eyes and I hear somebody call my name, but I stay where I am. There must be 1,000 Danielles. Somebody grabs my foot through my sleeping bag and shakes it. And I'm back there with Sally shaking my foot through the duvet. Come on, Danielle, you're going to be late for school, love. And the memory wins me like a punch. And I tell myself I can't be. But I wanted to be. God, so bad. I don't breathe in case I break the spell. I peer over my sleeping bag. And her brown hair is salted at the roots. She has these wrinkles on her cheeks, as intricate as spiders' webs, but it's Sally all right. Because as she looks at me, I swear, I can feel the heat of the sun. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Kizzy. Have a great night. Love you.
Thanks, Kizzy. Oh.
In cafe, oh my God.
Oh. Without no further ado, to another young lady. I actually did a poem when I first met her that made me cry. One of Staffordshire's greats, transformed herself, Lisa Johnson.
Oh, I'm having a nightmare, Gary. I just got a low battery warning flash up. Oh no! Fine, it's fine.
You best speak quickly then.
Plugged in, but I'm having to hold the tablet with one hand and my phone with the other. But it's all fine, you know, it'll be fine. But I'm not going to make you cry tonight because Kizzy's asked me to do Presley, which is I read this the first time I ever met Kizzy, and it was at Mel's Myths and Legends night. So, you know, me not being very well educated on the classics, did one about Elvis Presley. So here we go. The footpath's closed with signage up, but there's still shelter at the town bus stop. Rest your feet and listen in to the rhythmic sounds as they begin. People walk with the constant squawk, ears full of AirPod mobile phone talk. In the commuter jungle where the speed bumps rumble, watch out for potholes because the tarmac crumbles, and black and white stripes carpet traffic lights. Pedestrians eye up cars as if they want to fight. Then a crossing rings with high-pitched dings. Everything stops and a tinny London accent sings. There's a guy who works down the chip shop, swears he's Elvis. And I ponder this lyric as my feet fizz from pounding streets. And now this country-style beat sticks and I can't get rid of it. The thought of Presley's fish and chips. But he'd be 85. Not sure he'd still be working if indeed he was alive. He was a fan of food, that king of rock and roll. So probably not sat at home watching telly on the dole. Still don't think he'd be serving up butties full of chips, though I hear he quite liked peanut butter laced with barbiturates. Yet who am I to dispute the work habits of the king? His marriage dispute payments need shelling out even though he no longer sings. And I think of him in an apron with sideburns and a quiff, slicked back with a chip fat, humming rockabilly riffs. Big E's gyrating pelvis no longer has its appeal, about as popular as a cup of cockles or a plate of jellied eels. It's much harder these days to make the fire sizzle with the constant London fog and persistent heavy drizzle. The delight of deep-fried ice cream full of fat and calories initiates profound regret and concern for arteries. Then I remember, yes, it was a cardiac arrest. The coroner wrote that Tuesday as the cause of death. So EP still stands for Elvis and not extended play on those rock and roll stations reliving the glory days. But there's no need for the fat lady or even for the king to finish singing or leave the building. Just flip back to the town soundtrack, the click and clack of train on track as you sit and wait for the sound of air brakes, the rumble and hiss, so you don't miss the number 9 arriving on time, and Kirsty and Elvis are left behind.
Woo!
The reason why I asked Lisa to do that is because, one, I knew it was probably going to be quite a serious night because of the people I'd invited to read, and also because that was one of the poems that taught me that the poetry I was going to hear if I carried on coming was not the same poetry I was hearing at school, and made me want to do it because I realised I could be funny and do poetry, and that it didn't all have to be all dead white dudes.
That was a dead white dude though, wasn't it?
Oh, Lisa, first time I've heard that, and I loved it. I want to hear it again and again, and that poem we always talk about, which I just think should be out via YouTube. Thank you, Lisa. I can now confirm that me and Hannah Edge are now Facebook friends. Isn't life beautiful? Isn't my first Maxfield fan?
It had to be done. It had to be done.
I feel truly blessed. You know. Anyway,
had a big love in.
Before I drive, I don't have tears. I call them Cathy's as I drive. Let me just wipe my Cathy's away. And the next person, I have seen, but we've never chatted. I've seen, and it's one of the first names on Kizzy lists. I think that's because his name begins with an A. So that's why he's one of the first ones on the list. Mr. Adrian Mackenzie.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Let me open up with something a little more fun before I go into the main piece, which is more in the spirit of Kizzy. I am the muted sleeve of records only the devoted seek out. The triple swipe, the tipple liked, the overplayed when dead type, the living legend you dread to admit you liked. See, I am the paperless poetry you knew as a child, the English mustard you bust a groove to, lost a tooth to. I am the anti-hymn at weddings and funerals that made believers neutral. I turn cockpits to mosh pits and tables to tarpaulin. I am the Ayatollah of crowd controllers giving squares circles, the umami of the ears and manna for the feet. Taste me and tell me you don't want any more. Chase me until dawn and choose your walk of fame or shame. I can make thousands yell out, what's my name? Who am I? I created more arcs than Noah and had heaven rocking. I am the reason for your neighbors knocking. Headboards and doors, keeping scores with applause and wows. I turn first dates to vows, hedgehogs to cash cows. I am the reason for new clothes and brows. Who else has the whole crowd just asking, how'd you like me now without a need for an answer? So many outfits, I'll never need to pander. Who am I? I am the version of evolution that science and religion agree on, the nameless ever-present parent of eons. I am the molder of islands and maker of memories. I am the thread that holds so many together, the definition of etc. Who am I? Turn me on and find out if you know better, because I am music. And so, to my main piece called Marriage of the Flamingo. On this knee, change I seek, and with it, lasting love in word and deed. You are more precious than headlines and clicks. You will be cherished more tomorrow than you are today. Please take this knee as a symbol of my hunger for a new buffet. This clenched fist, a yearning for the baton of hope to be relayed between us. A hope that leaps from pain and purge to policy with purpose, a hope that transcends all of our yesterdays, all of our todays and tomorrows. On this knee, in public and in private, in safety and in danger I stay. In uneven nature is the everlasting face of places that could have been palaces. It is the skim-read, dog-eared page that upsets without deeper reading, deeper healing. It is more than the fulfillment of Dr. King's dream, my love, my friend. Humans forget that they are human sometimes, so here I am, kneeling. I kneel in submission to the mission that says, I want you to see how much I love you as an equal. I give you me. On this knee, as a symbol of my enduring love, my eternal faith and my undying devotion to change. It is an outward reminder of inner unity when others this knee take. On this knee, I pledge to you, with all I am and all I will ever be, I will fight for what we could be. On this knee, the balance is unseen, though blasts are heard. On this knee, overtures from every sinew and organ come to the fore. On this knee, I see the flaws and refuse to sweep them under the carpet. On this knee, I give you me, as more than a product to market and a box to tick. I give you me, my faith in our strength together, and my covenant that I will be here until you're ready to grow. On this knee, I commit my soul. Thank you.
Woo! Woo!
Wow.
Woo!
Wow.
Oh, dear. Should have sold tickets. Oh, absolutely wow. Before I've lost him now, Mr. Jonathan Watkins to come next. Another like legend of Staffordshire. So, next time I'm going to Alton Towers, I'm just going to stay there and drink some of the Buxton water. I think it's Buxton water, and to do that because they just seem to poets just seem to come out everywhere. So, but I'd just like to. I've lost her as well. Our Jacqueline Maury Grace, who's is keeping the National Health Service going fully, and then she would have loved to have those. I'm going to speak for her. I'm not going to read her poem because she's just amazing. She even plays the trumpet, which I should have been the grand finale. But Jackie and I and Kizzy, and I'll try and think if there's any more. For a year, we've been going to the Right Club, and it's run by the legendary Hail Caesar, Mark Grist. And it started as a writing group just at the start of the pandemic. We meet on a Monday morning, decide our targets, and meet again at Friday, 5 o'clock, and it's grown into something. It's grown into, well, I only turn up to see my friends. I don't actually turn up, and the people and everyone there is grown and legendary. But the one person who just continually makes the difference through there has been Kizzy. And one of my favourite things throughout the years was the Pick and Mix birthday, when I say when Mark Grist met Kizzy, and Mark, as probably you know, he's like a living legend, and he's used to being. He's always in the news, always doing adverts. He's always doing something, you know. He's always look up to. And then on the birthday, Kizzy spoke. And it was the first time I ever seen Mark Grist's mouth open. And since then, they're like peas in a pod. And if he was older and probably black, he probably claimed to be her father as well as Chaos and Lantern. So the one thing that I would say from Jackie is, because I know she's here, and I know she's and I know she's been in and out of the dentist. But one of my memories of Jacqueline, and it's probably deal with Clyde's slang, was Jack. I don't want to call him Jackie or Jacqueline. I'll just call him whatever. And
Gary, Jackie, you can call me Jackie. That's fine.
I call her Jackie. I was trying to be posh from Isle of Man. I'm a Manx. She goes. It was in the Slam at Beehive, and we have a WhatsApp. We have like a group page of the right who's doing what, whatever, and like Jackie puts it. Oh, I don't know what to do next. I don't know what to do next. I really don't know what to do next. And the next breath, as the whole of the Right Club were biting their nails, doing the thing was, Kizzy's fucking awesome. She's awesome. And so she's been a valued part of the Right Club, and you know, and I'm so glad Jackie is here today, just in honour of her pictures in there. Right, enough of me. On to the man from Staffordshire who I've just lost, Mr. Jonathan Watkins. Jonathan, yes.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for asking me to read Kizzy. I'm more than happy to count you as one of my friends, and I hope you're having a good night. You'll remember this piece because this is from a book that me and Mel put together to raise money for guide dogs called Poetic Vision. It basically asks people to submit photos and poems were written inspired by those photos. And I picked one by Kizzy, which was it was a match being struck and captured, and it was a brilliant photo, very well captured. And this is the piece that inspired. Strike. I strike one match, then another. Pinhole pupils transfixed by the void at the center of each minuscule inferno. It strikes me that the future of our race seems likely to be a protracted disgrace, a continued assault on each other and pretty much everything else, it seems, until nothing at all is left intact, untainted, uncompromised, only spectres and shadows haunting our grand and most offensive schemes. If I close my eyes with enough anger, I can see stars and shapes and sparks skewering the maelstrom with blinding intensity. Then the flames, ravenous, righteous, cleansing, laying waste to the rich fuel of our grotesque majesty. These destructive fractals strafing the inside of my eyelids are more than biological feedback and sensory crossfire. They are a seed of a possibility, a portent of the necessary, harbinger of change and an end to the deranged empire. My vision takes root and erupts into an avenging tendril, seeking to rip out our vile emperors apart at the seams, spilling their burning entrails across the subjugated lands, combusting the opulent splendor of now wailing kings and queens. Touch paper lit and future rewrit, bearing witness to a brutal scourge of a failed civilization. The spoils of limitless thirst and greed now serve to feed wave after wave of vengeful incineration. Nostrils stung by the stench of charred flesh grown too fat, ears filled with the death howls of the enslavers, pupils wide, drinking in vistas of twisted metal and blistered kingdoms, mouth slack-jawed and appalled, yet I don't call for a savior. Because such obliteration can yield new growth, cut out the rot and the festering wound closes. Another chance not to completely arse it up like we have done before, over and over and over. Rebirth stepping out of the flames with innocent eyes, pink and harmless, taking baby steps in a brave new land that all too fast turn into an obsessive and lustful sprint, headlong into a mirror image of the last shitstorm unleashed by our hands. White heat fades back to void. I open my eyes and the vision seared into my mind fade as quickly as the struck match splutters and dies, leaving blistered tips to my fingers. The sensation of something lost lingers, the secrets of the flame lost within the last wisp of smoke curling towards the sky. Then I strike another. That's it from me. I hope you have a good remainder of the evening.
Thank you, Jonathan. I posted a list of what's coming next. I'm almost kept to time, which is absolutely amazing. I know it's frantically amazing. I can still ruin it. But next is a woman I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of her at either side of the Atlantic. During the American elections, I thought she was Kamala Harris. I really didn't think she'd make it tonight. I thought she'd be down in Cornwall at the G7, doing what she does best, giving them hell and telling them how it is. There can only be one person. I'm saying this because I'm actually getting a word in. Rose Drew.
Thank you, Gary. Well, I won't be giving anybody hell tonight, but thank you very much. It was quite tempting to go down it. I'm going to do two little poems. I've been writing a lot lately, so actually, Kizzy, you have inspired me. Last time Kizzy and I spoke, she mentioned that my open mic was the very next day, and because I never think of it at the time, I was amazed. I thought of it before my open mic, and it was going to be on the 4th of May. And I was like, may the 4th be with you. And so Kizzy was like, oh, I'm going to miss this open mic. And actually, we were discussing how Kizzy was going to have a poem at this event, and she couldn't quite make it. I was inspired to write a poem. So I wrote this poem basically after you and I spoke, Kiz. So thank you very much. And then I'll just finish it with another one after that. So this was basically thanks to you inspiring me to write something. And really cool evening that you've pulled together, Kizzy. And Gary, well done doing all that and pretty much sticking to time. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So may the 4th be with you, because that was just so goofy. 2 films in the 70s changed me. One left me forever fearful of the sea. The other craving teamwork and adventure with danger, purpose, and skills. Just enough magic, not overdone. We'd all read Dune, and a force was familiar. Shaman strength was understandable. But this, as for sci-fi, Star Trek had passed me by when I was 8 or 9. We watched The Monkees while my sister plotted to reach Woodstock. I found Kirk and Spock in syndication, and Bones and Chekhov and Sulu masking the self we would one day meet. But though Uhura was on the bridge, she never had the con. No, Leia was the Shiro of the 70s. For those years of I Am Woman and Wonder Woman and all those battles to pass the ERA, she kicked ass and saved herself often enough until the day she could not. But that's another story. Thank you, Kizzy, for that poem and the inspiration. And then this one is just an idea that came to me listening to someone else's poem. And so I quote from her at the beginning of this. Axe Head Redux. You link me to ancestors we call primitive, yet whose skills we may need. From Axe Head by Pauline Kirk. Chipping out the shape, a past skill, an old technology. After oil, we'll need archaeologists and reenactors to knock out knives, remake mangles and axe heads, hoes, wood barrels, ceramic pots baked by huts. We've watertight baskets that can heat with red hot stones, our meager fare. Thousands will crowd scant hearths crackling in the dark, all unsure, all untrained by elders fighting for every twig in nights unlit by neon. Bring on the axe head nappers, the stone tool makers, the weavers of bags, the new magicians. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kizzy.
Oh, thank you so much. Before we get Kizzy comes back, Rose, I will always stay on your good side.
Yes, that's wise. Thank you.
Whatever side which way your pond you was going.
I don't know how this happens. My brother is having issues with someone and he goes, Rose, I want you to call them because you're just a little scary. And I was like, why does everyone think this about me? I mean, I guess after a while you have to figure it might be true. I hear this a lot and I don't really necessarily know why. I'm nice. I'm a nice person.
Rose, I can confirm it's true. No, you're wonderful. I'm so glad you're here. Talking about wonderful people before we go back to Kizzy. We go from probably the nicest person I've ever come to meet in the last year. Always profound words. Words would just make you want to. I can honestly say this person honestly makes me want to be a better person. Francesca Kirkpatrick.
Hi, Kizzy. I met you probably last year sometime, I believe at Mel's place when we were talking about different things, and I was so inspired. And then again, we were together, and I was so happy to see you because you were just so excited when Cynthia was holding some meetings on Saturday morning, and I was like, wow, and we got to be with Chaos, and we got to learn a little bit more about each other. So I was even more like, I'm so happy. I'm sorry I haven't seen you much lately, but it doesn't mean that I haven't cared about every single thing that you've said and done, because I try to catch up when I can. Anyways, many things that you have done in life already. I mean, you're just super and amazing, and you represent a lot of love and care that a lot of people have in this world, even though they don't know sometimes where in their heart it lives. And you also represent, please don't bully people, don't make fun of them, don't, cause them pain, because the joy in our hearts are our words, and we have those to give. And you sure give every time you speak. You give us your heart, and everything that you represent gives you power. And you do have the power. And I can't wait to see what is next from you, Kizzy Wade. And so, sending you lots of energy, strength, and power to forge on through all of this. And we've made it through so far. Think about all we've been through this year together as poets, with you, with everyone. I'm so happy to see today, and I will just treasure that. So, do you ever find yourself in Tennessee? Please look me up. And if I find myself in your country, I'm going to look you up too, because I sure would love to have tea with you. Talk to you soon, Kiz, or whatever you want to drink. Talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you. I just want to have a whole confirmation video of Francesca's every piece she says, and the world would be just a better place. And I know a joke me and Kizzy shared for the past week. I know in her head at this moment she's laughing away, and I'm trusting her so much because she's going to come back, because I know exactly what's going through her head now. So I'm actually quite scared now what she might do next. Welcome back, Kizzy Wade.
Thank you for all the nice words.
Listen, you.
Everyone's been saying it about me. It's really nice. And like Francesca just said, like, I am what happens when you bully the wrong person. On that, each June, we're here. Some of us are queer. Let's do some pride stuff and some not pride related thing, but let's do LGBT stuff for a bit. The first one I've got is called Acceptance Olympics, and it was wrote in a database shop again. Hello and welcome to the Acceptance Olympics, the place where we reward the very least in human kindness. This is Super Sassy Day, and boy, do we have some stage jokers for you. But remember, the bar is always low. We can't expect them to jump through hoops carrying that signal virtue. Today, our headline event was a 4,000 word lecture, the event where 8 adults with an omniscience complex lecture teens about their own lived experience. Today we have an array of teachers, extended family, and of course, strangers on the internet. The rules are simple: be cliched, be repetitive, and most importantly, be insensitive. Picking up the bronze medal is Linda. Linda took it upon herself to let a gay teenager coming out on Facebook know that life would be very hard for him. What a kind warning. I mean, I'm sure he already knew that. He was outed in high school after all. But she only has his best interests at heart, and it's nothing to do with internalized homophobia. Sticking with the LGBTQ community, Trevor and Silver for telling his lesbian relative she's just too young to know. She's 17, so above the legal age of consent, but that doesn't stop Trevor scoring this bonus cliche. 18 to be gay, but free to be straight is a real favourite among our athletes. They just can't get past the sexual bit of sexual preference. But as they always say, it is a lot for them to deal with. Taking home the girl, we have Karen. Karen lectured her female student on how she attracts the unwanted male attention in class. She scored a double for victim blaming, a triple for perpetuating privilege. She noted how she does always get angry when they approach, giving them attention. She said her skirt was kind of distracting and ended it with the classic, boys will be boys. Well done, Karen. She got a personal best too. Her teen listened for a whole 50 words. That could be seen as growth, but you don't get to grow into a decent human being. People don't have to give you the time to do so, and they certainly don't have to give you a medal. Thank you. The next one I've got is about Disney. If you really like Disney and you're homophobic, I'm about to ruin it for you. Don't get me wrong, I am a massive Disney fan. WALL-E is the first film I remember watching, and Ratatouille formed my first cinema trip. Disney helped to build so many humans. Their blockbusters are the basis for morals, outlooks, and thought processes all over the world, and I get they're only making fairy tales of fake perfection. But when you've got the whole planet as a platform, shouldn't your idea of perfection be a little more inclusive? Take Frozen. I'm not saying that thick black eyeliner and a ponytail makes you a lesbian, but come on. I mean, conceal, don't feel. If that's not a man from the closet, I don't know what is. I'm just saying, if Elsa had got for the lady waiting, maybe she'd have been a bit less cold. And I can hear it now, the echoes of don't confuse the children. Well, I have news for you. That film has a talking snowman in it, and I think that's slightly less realistic than equal marriage. Moving on to Mulan. Firstly, applause to Disney here. They opened a complex conversation on gender identity and stereotypes using ethnically diverse characters. Mulan was strong and independent, a woman battling convention and honour. But they had to ruin it, didn't they? Because she had to marry. It didn't make any sense. She didn't even need him. She needed her own army of kick-ass female soldiers. Now on to my favourite, Toy Story. Now Rex's motto, "The panic is attacking me," formed my mantra through high school. But why is it that any time the green dinosaur gets slightly reactive to his issues, that it's played off as a joke. I get that it's just a kids' movie, but shouldn't we be teaching kids that their own feelings are valid? Finally, let's talk about the problematic picture known as Beauty and the Beast. For some reason, Disney seemed to think that they were being progressive by making Belle literate. And in between the toxic masculinity of Gaston and the Beast, they made it seem like she wouldn't get through the trauma of her mum's death without the Beast. Well, he and her dad imprisoned her until she agreed to marry him. That sounds nothing like coercive control, doesn't it? And anyway, they had two men dancing for 2 seconds in the remake, so they tried to be inclusive. That doesn't sound like queer baiting for media attention, does it? No, it can't be. Thank you. The next one I've got is a lot less happy. It's new. Some of you might have helped me edit it. It will be my slam final piece tomorrow. And I'm glad Mel's gone because that makes things a lot easier for me. But it's called Pride Kitchen. Let me start this poem by wishing you happy Pride. Now, if you're expecting optimistic verse, believe me, I've tried. I've tried to write about the rainbows and riots in a regular rhyme, in a regular rhythm, with the expected elected tone, but I can't. And to understand why, we need to understand my cluttered kitchen cupboard conscience. It's the 30th of June. Today in my kitchen, there's a dinner between my social circles. I find the cutlery. It's different sizes, versions for people to hold on to. I extract them from the cupboard that's filled with everything from batteries to the key to the lock that doesn't quite work. I carry the weight of them towards the group. At my table, I'm having two conversations. The one I'm having in the poem, honest, open, and the one that's a little likelier in my lived experience, loud but lacking in truth. You're both talking over each other. My brain is split unequally in half, and the key to the door still doesn't quite work. The TV flashes in the corner with pictures of pride parades, reminding me of my lack of. The dinner finishes, and it's time to wash up. I turn on the tap. The metal is cold. It shocks me into a state of discomfort and puts me on guard. And then the water begins to flow over my hands, suppressed thoughts seeping into my skin. The safety tested bubbled soap all pop one at a time, and as they do, the memories begin to flow, carrying me away from calm and confidence, narrowly avoiding the plug hole of perfectionism and drain of indecision. I'm so in my head I haven't even noticed the water is burning me, but other people have, and they're asking questions, and so am I. Again, I brush it off and get them to leave. I see her smile in sight and slam the door, re-enter the kitchen and run my hands across the counters, and I notice that some of the water has spilled out, staining slurs on granite. I lick my thumb and wipe manically. No luck. I panic, grab a pride flag and use that. It makes it worse, bold it even. It can never get rid of what will always be there. So I'll just cover it up with the multicoloured printed polyester. I sit alone at the table and think for as long as I can tolerate, then a bit more. And as the calendar flips over to July, I get up, grab the cutlery, I drag the TV, detach the faucet and pick up the flag, taking them to the cupboard and bundling them in. I take out the faulty key, walk to the door and try the lock. It works. I leave. I will have to tidy up in here every so often, but I won't have to have dinner until next June. Let me start this poem by wishing you happy Pride. Now, if you're expecting an optimistic birth, believe me, I've tried. I've tried to write about the rainbows and riots in regular rhyme, in regular rhythm, with the expected elected tone, but I can't. And to understand why, you need to understand my cluttered kitchen cupboard conscience. Thank you.
But guys, just unmute yourself and just give a massive huge round of applause. Sometimes that's all what needs to be said, guys.
Aye.
Hello.
The thing about Kizzy, and I think you all agree, is she never stops amazing us. Just when she just not. I was looking at the gallery and just watching your faces and the air go out of all of you, and it was just got Cynthia to come, then Lantern, and Kizzy wants to say a few words, but I would just like to say thank you to, I look round, I look round and I've got my poetry heroes in front of me, all different kinds, but there's also the poetry heroes who, like Natalia, Leslie, Noah, who haven't read today, and there's a list a mile long. I'm still getting texts. I've put on a lot of events. Like this is my sixth event in 6 weeks I've put on. And I, it's also like thank this time last week. Some of you know, or I'd just like to say, I was in hospital having a heart operation, and one of the things why my heart was all beating up, and the doctor was chatting to Wade for me. He said, "Oh, you're a poet," and I go, "You really want me to recite one now?" But I said I've got to be well for Kizzy. And then when he asked for the Kizzy event, and when he said who's Kizzy, I just said she's a copy cow. And but with everything, but I'd just like to thank those people who have supported me throughout the year in what do. So I'm going to have a break from putting events on for at least 2 weeks. Thanks a lot to Clive, who's a lot of you know him as a funny thing. He's given me immense support throughout the year, and checking me, Kathy, Leslie, Francesca, a lot of you. So I just want to say thank you for the support. You listened to Kizzy there. I was like, I didn't know. I didn't actually think how I'm actually here today. This time last week, I wasn't too sure whether I was going to be here or what I was going to be, but seeing you all guys is a massive, huge pleasure. So back to the jovial side, because these are not Kathy tears. Anyway, these are not Kathy's. When I was telling you earlier about the slam with Jackie, well, afterwards, in the aftermath, the following day, everyone put, oh, isn't wonderful, and Kizzy wonderful, isn't she wonderful, isn't she awesome? So I just text Kizzy. Well, I started texting Kizzy, and I thought, I text you ain't all that, just for the laugh of it.
You didn't.
and I thought, oh, I was about to press it, and I thought I'll get told off by Lantern, so I best not.
Text me, you publicly owned.
Yeah, and the relevance of last Friday, it was the Beehive Slam, and Kizzy and I agreed. I said, well, I can do better than you, as if. I'm going in for the slam. I told Kathy goes first, so, you do know there's a time limit. Next minute, I'll get a text from Clive, like, you do realise there's a time limit. And I just thought that was the funniest thing going. But the battle, what we was going to do if I was able to come last week in the slam was, if I did better in the slam than Kizzy, she would have to wear a Chelsea shirt all week, and if not, I was going to wear a Tottenham shirt all week. But there you go. Anyway, over to the lady I've been calling Cynthia Payne all week. Some of you might remember who Cynthia Payne is, but take it from me as a compliment. And she's another one who's been hassling me all week with different things. Even in the middle of the night, in the night, we're at poetry bit. Have you done this? Have you contacted Cole yet? Have you done that? So I daren't say anymore because she's friends with Rose, and I don't want Rose after me. All right, Cynthia.
I'm going to guess that would be me.
Yes.
I haven't been called Payne for a while. Okay, so the first day I met Kizzy, I reached out to her. The first day I met her, I reached out to her to hire her. I saw her on the Zoom, listened to her poetry, and I knew that she would have what I needed. Hold on, I'm sorry, I read this big enough. I needed somebody young and bright and allied with my mission to make LGBTQ people more accepted around the globe. I reached out to her in the chat and I said, I need an assistant. I can't pay much, but this is what I can offer in US dollars. And we set a time on Zoom, and chaos stopped bugging me. Sorry. I reached out to her in the chat and said, sorry. I interviewed her on Zoom, and she asked, why did you hire me? And I didn't remember. So I asked her to read the poem that she had shared, I guess it had been a couple of weeks ago. And when she did, I realized that that was why, because it was very LGBTQ inclusive, and it was very in your face, and it spoke to the world as she does. And because she was LGBTQ inclusive and 16, I knew that made her brilliant, so she could do what I needed. And if she couldn't do what I needed to learn, she could learn it. And she has definitely been brilliant. Indeed, I believe she got a raise the first week, and that was probably before, I think she said it was 4 weeks in before I asked her what the disability might be. Yeah, because I had a friend when I was in my 20s who had CP. And so there was something about the way she talks that was just very familiar. And it was like, oh yeah, I gravitate to this person. And yeah, it was on she told me that the doctor had told her she would never speak. You know, well, what do doctors know? And so this is in honor of Kizzy Wade, a brilliant, beautiful, talented woman whom I am most grateful for helping me launch my next books and courses and podcasts at the universe. So Viva Miss Kizzy, we wish there were more like you on the planet to celebrate. And then let's see, what do I have for you for a poem? Poetry changes your vision. This is your mind, a crazy, haywire mess of jumbled thoughts going everywhere, nowhere, getting some places, getting lost. Busy, busy, always freaking busy. How do you like living in this crazy busy mind? Breathe. Put your feet on the floor. Feel your energy reaching into the earth, down into the center and coming back into you. Breathe. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then repeat. As I talk, breathe slowly, inhaling to the count of 4, holding, exhaling to the count of 5, holding and inhaling again. Already your heart rate has slowed down. You may say this is your mind on meditation, but I promise you this is also your mind on poetry. Spend some time with poetry. Go to an open mic and listen. Go to YouTube and listen. Buy someone's book and curl up by the fire, or take it outside and curl up in the garden. Put your feet barefoot on the earth so you are grounded. Do you have an issue going on in your life? Find someone's poems about it. Read them and process your stuff with them. You may be amazed. That's what another's perspective can add to your personal journey. History of rape, incest, abuse, trauma. Poetry's got you covered. Dealing with relationships, divorce, love, poetry's got you covered. Dealing with weeds in your garden, too many dishes in the sink, poetry's got you covered. And I didn't have it in here, but I heard it earlier today, dealing with, what was it? House cleaners that hate you. I loved that one. Poetry's got you covered. I do have more prescriptions up my sleeve, but that requires further conversations, and it's a starting place. Free to all who care to look. If you have something ailing you, look to poetry and then discuss your issue with that poem or those poems. Interrogate the poems and then write about it afterwards. Process the emotions, and you will find that quieter time, that mind that exists on poetry. Namaste. I wish you love and light. And I have one more that lasts about 20 seconds. It's keep a poem in your pocket. Keep a poem in your pocket, a draft, a scribble, a scrap, for when you find it on a gray morning or perhaps on laundry day. It will surely bring a smile to your face. Thank you. And thank you, Gary, so much for doing this for Miss Kizzy. She is so very worthy, and take good care of yourself, sir, because we so very much value you.
Thank you, sir. All right, I just got this breaking news in. I just checked the stream, the breaking news. Oh, well, yeah. Breaking news. There's going to be a duel. Who loves Kizzy the most. It's going to be between, yes, with a M16, it's going to be Chaos, and with a Colt 45, it's going to be Lantern Carrier. They will each deliver, they will each choose a biro at 12 yards. On firing their biro, they will finally decide the matter once and for all. But before that, let me introduce to the father of everybody's poetry. He's almost like a mystic spiritual figure in his own, the great Lantern Carrier. And now you owe me money for that, Lantern.
I do indeed, I do indeed. I will remember. Thank you so much. You're very kind. Ode to Kizzy. I felt the lamp of your spirit glistening within me like the radiant sun. Like the earth, I absorbed it, inspiring my soul with your vibrancy and passion. My sweet, sweetest, sweetest angel, basking in your garden of selfless love, my heart emerges only to marvel at the beauty of moonlight, shimmering thy light. Ah, what is my tiny offering to you? Faced with the strife of difficult challenges, yet you excel in the realm of brilliance. Your eloquent words, a priceless raiment, adorning my core with their resonance. The cosmos in all its splendor blazes a trail across the firmament, cascading endless energy to Mother Gaia, which in all her opulence vigorously renews life. So too I feel the glow of your charisma, dancing within like sweet thrills, your rays of magical words, painting an Instagram of feelings in the fine wine of my emotions. Nourishing my gratitude, I place it all at your affection-flooded heart. I put one more piece. It's an awareness and empathy piece written 2 years ago, ideally for someone in a wheelchair. I wonder if they see me. The sweet intimacy of blossoming birds growing in the garden of my heart. The white lily wraps me in its raiment. The redolence of jasmines kisses my cheeks. Alas, fleeting is the majesty of this bodily temple. My limbs can only do so much. My legs have stopped dancing for the stars. I wonder if they see me. I wish to tell them of my joys and sorrows, that the quest of our longing is mutual, that I yearn to be loved. Instead, my speech stutters and my lips fail. The chair that confines me lacks the eloquence to convey my deeper melodies. I wish to tell them of the beauty in my soul, to let them know that they're all invited. Why can't they hear the lute within my spirit, serenading the moon with its haunting rhapsodies? I fear they see only my fragility, my powerlessness. Perhaps they wish to help, to empathize, but not show how to console me. Just yesterday, I was at a wedding party. I was the joy of the ceremony, the cynosure of all eyes. Now my heart is faced with a different challenge. My soul weeps. Time has no favorites, and the transient of life knows no discrimination. I wonder if they see me. This tender, delicate frame is adorned by kind souls who seek to preserve my smile, dignity, self-respect. Meanwhile, I sit in my wheelchair, me, a woman having to deal with the rolling tides of life, trapped in this sacred citadel. I seem to be covered with thorns, yet I am in the breath of roses, which radiate an effulgent light. I wonder if they see me. Lantern Carrier, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. More breaking news. Our prodigy's turned into a lovey. I've just got a message from her. Gary, I'm going on again. I'm going. This is it. I don't care. I don't care if you're honestly. I don't care if you're old. I am young. It's there. She wrote it. Don't let you fool you that she's a sweet little girl.
What I said.
The power, great. Love you to bits, Kizzy. All right. Kizzy is coming on again. That's a massive, huge round of applause. And I'm knackered.
Me too. I basically wanted to finish this off with a little bit of information about my project, my project away from poetry, which is a radical curriculum fellowship. We are working on basically revolutionising the British education system and hopefully creating an activism curriculum on top of that. We've recently rebranded a bit, so we want to raise awareness for other educational issues away from the curriculum, and we want sort of adult allies to come to the meetings and help to facilitate and bring new experiences to it. So if you would like to get involved, just most of you have me on Facebook, I feel like. Just message me. And if you don't friend me on Facebook, this was a poem that sort of set that project off. And I think the only ones that have heard it are Gary and Lantern. How to be an activist in 2020. We live in a time where everyone has opinions and everyone has a platform. Everyone has ideas for change. But just having a social media account doesn't make you an activist. It makes you a 21st century human. So what's the difference? An activist activates. They initiate change. They suggest solutions to problems. They are willing to debate and discuss. They have perspectives on issues that you haven't even contemplated. Let's think about activism as a career. I probably belong to the first generation for which fighting for change is a viable job option, but I'm certainly not the first person to aspire to make my mark. The suffragettes, the American Civil Rights Movement, the Chicago 7, all these people did it before any careers advisor suggested it, just because they had a cause. What can we take from our predecessors? I've thought a lot about this, and the main thing that stuck through the ages is passion and guts. The passion for the cause should be the same whether the platform is a street protest or a blog. And no matter how you're saying the things that go against the grain, you need to be prepared for criticism. You need thick skin, whether it's Trump supporters or hate through the letterbox. But there are differences between then and now. As I said earlier, everyone has a platform. Everyone has opinions. That means we need to be imaginative with our content to get out of the echo chamber. But let me get this straight. I am new to this. I have a tiny reach. But how do I improve? Recently I've noticed there's not much easily accessible education for young activists. It is getting better. There are some programs for climate awareness and anti-racism, but these are very directed and sometimes exclusive. We need general education that people can start their own cause on. We need a radical curriculum. Thank you. And the next point I've got is sort of just to chill it all out again, and it's called keyboard. I haven't done it in a while, so if I make mistakes, bear with me. I wish there was a print button in my brain, a button that could give me everything I have ever thought to have and to hold, every idea, every opinion, every observation that has ever come into my conscience. Maybe then I could choose which notes to take note of more easily, because sometimes good ideas seem to glitch and disappear without hope of redo or refresh. And sometimes the thoughts that screw my psyche into a ball staple and stay there. I wish there was a delete button in my brain to allow me to lose the loud thoughts and long time echoes, so I have space for streamlined thought in silence. And maybe I'll manage to clear my own cognitive dissonance. I'll maybe make some headway in my own unconscious bias to finally craft my own thought completely. I wish there was a save button in my brain to allow me to keep memories, scenarios, and situations in a bank. Just the ones that remind me why I bother, the things that anger me into action, the obstacles to doubters, the injustices. I wish I could keep it all as fuel. I wish there was an escape button in my brain for when I need a complete break, away from the thoughts affixed to my mind on post-it notes or with pins on cork, or the endless pings of notifications of my mistakes and shortfalls. It would be nice to have a white cross in a red box to click with a mouse when my mind is running too fast, like it's powered by mice. I wish there was a control button in my brain to filter what comes and goes, because there has been so many unauthorized intrusions. I think I need better virus protection to keep my files as I left them and the documents that made me as I know them. In reality, there is no key to the mind, not even a keyboard. The mind is a computer too complicated to be controlled by cracked plastic. It has an algorithm embedded in an impossible algorithm. It contains symbols that cannot be found in QWERTY. It is coded in a language far beyond understood mathematics. It is organic. Thank you. And the final poem I have of the night, to finish it all off, I chose to finish with this because this is a poem I wrote as a thank you to all the people that have been involved in my journey. And for anyone who doesn't know, my life was very difficult before I found poetry. I had zero confidence. I was really badly bullied at school. I had barely any friends, and I was really struggling just to find a purpose and carry on. Poetry gave me hope. It's as simple as that. See, before I started writing, I dreamt but never hoped. Dreaming is when your head is in the clouds. For it to be hoping, your feet have to be on the ground. Your knees have to take the weight of rational reality. Standing has never been my strong point, not just in the physical sense. I never really stood for what I wanted or what I believed in. I'm more crouched to conceive, held down for a shortfall, because I couldn't see past my own physical and mental shortfalls. I used to plant my feet on the ground wearing steel toe caps of resilience and breathe in the optimism, oxygen, but soon enough, nettles always poked through my soles to sting me with spikes of self-doubt and cause blisters that brought me down. Now, I'm not saying that my prognosis doesn't prick my confidence every now and then, and I still don't waste time wishing to walk, but I do have a medium to mediate with my mind and understand what I can do for the world. It allowed me to scribble down the thoughts that circulate and stale cycle in some kind of order, and finally have them heard, and give me space to think productively about how to solve problems. When I listen to poetry, I have hope for my future. I see a diverse range of people talking about everything from talking turkeys to prime number romances. And I realise that somewhere in there might even be space for me, a platform for me to speak. and make some material changes for future lost teams. Maybe I can literally talk for England, as my granddad always used to say. When I meet with poets, it restores my faith in humanity. Give me hope that life doesn't have to be like high school. They've taught me more than any textbooks about cultures far away from mine. They've given me permission to be something other than happy and indifferent. They've taught me I don't have to bend to be liked. Poetry has given me hope. Just one final thank you to everyone that's been involved tonight. It's been awesome. I expected a night like this to come 3, 4, 5 years into my journey and have like almost 30 people here 3 hours later is ridiculous. And if you're still here, there's a great chance that we're friends, and if we're friends, you probably made a difference to the way I think about the world. And you've probably made me happy at some point when I really needed it. So thank you. And again, thank you to the amazing Gary for being so organised and even kicking me out of my own Facebook group so that I wouldn't. But,
Oh, that's one of the highlights of my life. If those who don't know, we've had a like a group Kizzy talks all week, but so I kicked her out of it. So everybody was talking to Kizzy was talking to me. And the best thing, Kizzy didn't know. Oh. All right. Kizzy, you don't have to mute yourself. It's your gig. You can do what you want.
all right, just feel. It just feels respectful. No, but seriously, good night, and I'm gonna save the chat if nobody minds. I'm gonna save the chat to remember this because it's crazy. I could have never dreamt of anything like this.
Oh, can you all please note that Kizzy said to me, she needs respect. I want that written down in stone, please. Oh, unmute yourself, guys, because I have no strength.
I don't know what to do. I've never been around at the end of one of these.
I know. This is like. This is the time we normally talk about you. Oh.
Kizzy, you blew us all away. You really blew us all away. Well done. Absolutely well done. Fantastic. Huge respect.
Oh, thank you, everyone, and good night or good afternoon, depending where you are. No.
Oh, I still can't stand cheeky kids.
Dad.
Oh, just thank you, Kizzy. You've inspired us all.
I'm sorry if towards the end my speech started getting a bit weird. My disability gets worse as I get tired. So
Yeah.
sometimes as I get more tired, people stop being able to understand me. So I hope that hasn't happened.
Didn't
Not at
happen,
all.
mate.
No,
Not at
you were
all.
flawless, absolutely flawless.
Fabulous,
Perfect
mate.
performance.
Kizzy, we're here because we all adore you and love you.
I have the same problem, Kizzy. Later it gets more tired, people can't understand me. And I've had a beer, so you know, terrible.
Yeah, I forgot to add on Lisa's bio. She is a drunk. So the next word from Staffordshire will be Alcoholic Anonymous, starring Lisa Johnson.
Outrageous. Good job you're just on the screen, otherwise you'd be in trouble, Mr. Huskisson. I'm too tired anyway.
All right. Some of you know Lisa has a site called Transformation. She likes to say that on her latest poem is 21 days sober. Well done, you. I'd just like to say thank you all, guys. It's been a mega privilege. I'm sorry if everyone spoke tonight, we will be going. This be a weekender.
Yeah,
it really would. I've just looked at the list of the people who can't come. I've just got another one from Hazel Mehmet, Gary Carr, Rohan. It would have just gone on and on. Maybe next time. I'm going to leave the screen on, but I'm going to have to go. Good night and God bless.
Good night all.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Beautiful evening.
I really enjoyed it. Thanks a lot.
Night.
Thank
you. Good night, everyone. Congratulations, Kizzy.
Shout, Kizzy! Shout, Kizzy!
Thank you.
Congratulations, Kizzy. You rock.
She's drunk, Kizzy. She's drunk.
I'm trying to listen to what she's saying.
Bye, everyone.
I've never seen my dad so confused. It's when you was on, Clive. I've never seen my dad so confused.
Clive, her dad actually stood up. Her dad started up to NASA.
Mission accomplished.
See you tomorrow, Kizzy.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, good luck tomorrow, Kizzy.
Thank you.
I'll try and get along if I can.
See you if you do. And if not, I'm gonna go back in the draw for UB Hive, hopefully. So
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Great stuff. Right, see you soon. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Well, Gary, I'm gonna go as well. Thank you for.
I'll see you. I'm knackered. I'm just absolutely. I've got nothing left. I've got to teach tomorrow afternoon, so I'm just absolutely so proud of you, Kizzy. You was like the best.
Are you all right? Like, because I didn't realize your operation was that serious. I didn't realize it was a heart operation. Are you all right?
Yeah, I had a couple of heart attacks a couple of years ago, and I went for a checkup. I know I weren't feeling brilliant, but when I started the checkup, I decided to put another. I weren't all good. So, but
take it easy. We need you.
I'm out of doing an event. Literally, I've done an event for the last 6 weeks. So, but I'm okay. Tonight, I am full of Kathy's tears. Special Kizzy, I'm sorry she didn't get to speak, but it's just like you were utterly, totally amazing.
Oh, I'm glad I was, because halfway through I got a bit worried that no one was understanding me.
I could understand you perfectly, Kizzy, and that's all that matters, really.
Thank you for helping me edit that poem.
Oh, you're very welcome. It is my pleasure. I love you so much, and I just enjoyed being a listener today. Very big kudos to you for taking on this project. I love you. I'm a fan.
We
The
love you too.
chaos,
That's
blind,
great.
crippled, and hand impaired can understand you. The world can.
We'll be seeing each other soon, Chaos. I think Cynthia has some more courses planned that I will be recruited to control the Zoom on, so I'm sure we'll be seeing each other soon at some point.
Kizzy, you might not understand the Cynthia Payne joke. Cynthia Payne used to run a brothel.
Oh no, I know. I know. Yeah. I'm aware of, yeah.
Kizzy, love you too. I really have to go now. I'm just.
Me too. I feel about leaving when there's people here.
Well, you could talk away to them. You've got, ironically, it's people from. You've got Special K from. No, she's gone. You still got Chaos here and Marissa. Marissa, unmute yourself. Marissa.
Yeah.
Carl's still here, so I'm trying to get. No, I can't unwind Marissa. So
I don't think that they might not be near the computer.
yeah. Sorry.
I'm gonna go. Thank you.
Oh, that's Marissa. Marissa, unmute yourself.
Trying, my stupid Zoom is like there's such a delay, and I'm like mute, unmute, and then it kept muting me, and then the whole thing turned white with little spinny, and it was not letting me get on here. I'm sorry. It had an incredible show.
Thank you. I think it was because I was pressing unmute and then you was pressing unmute.
Probably. But Kizzy, you're amazing, and I'm a huge fan of yours, and I hope sometime you come to the US on a Zoom and come read some poetry.
Can you at some point message me and explain the time difference between the UK and where you are? Because I've tried to.
So I'm 7 hours behind you. So if it's midnight where you are, it's
5 o'clock.
It's 7 hours before that. I thought it was gonna be easier, but if it's 7 a.m. where you are, it's midnight where I am.
Thank you. Right, I understand now.
But I'm in the mountains. I'm in the middle of the country, so you're only 5 from the East Coast.
And you don't do time. You don't change the clocks, which also confused me. Because when we change the clocks, I expect you to change the clocks, and you didn't. So I'm very easily confused by time.
Okay. When I do the Zoom events on Facebook, it'll update you with your time zone automatically. So like on this event, it told me 12, well, not this event, but historic ones that Gary does, it'll say usually like 12:30 my time. So even though it's 7:30 his time, it'll always change it automatically to my time zone. So.
Thank you. Thank you for coming and still being here 3.5 hours later.
Brilliant. I'm such a fan of yours. I shared it everywhere. I sent the link out to everyone. There is a poet here who I would love to introduce you to. His name is Raja. I think the two of you would get along great, and even seeing a duet piece from the two of you, you have very similar stances on your political and social point of views are very similar, and the two of you I think would be good friends.
Sure. You have the link to my Facebook page, don't you? If you get them to message me on there, we can definitely connect. I love meeting new people from.
Yes. And I can even put like a morning or afternoon event together for you so that it's not really late for you. So
thank you. I'm really warm and really tired. I never thought I'd complain about the weather being too hot in Yorkshire, but I am. So I really have to leave. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Good night. Marissa,
Yes, yes.
we don't talk. We don't talk anymore.
We don't. Have I missed your messages?
No. I just like to see you at more events. I want you to come to my events. I want to do something together. I want to do something, me and you. I want to do something pure fun, just fun with you, because you know, you don't have to smile. You can. It's Marissa.
Oh my gosh, I have a piece you would love. It's called Covag. It's a very inappropriate adult piece, but it is a parody poem that is it's performed as a pharmaceutical parody, but it says if your vagina caught COVID. So it is.
All right.
Love it.
On the basis, I just had a stent put in my heart. Give me a week. Give me a week too.
Okay, sounds good. Yes, we should definitely. We started 5 new shows at The Word Is Right. Sunday night is the music one. I know Jamie likes to come to it. Domo Beth runs that. And so every day of the week, we're going to shoot to have some sort of open mic at The Word Is Right. So anytime you want to come, we'd love to have you. I probably will start a midday open mic for our friends across the pond in case they want to come by.
All right. Thank you so much. Good night. Good night, Carl. Thank you. Oh, don't do that. You know, I was told I wasn't allowed to have an erection. They have to get too excited. Please do it. It's like,
give you a week and then let me know when you're healthy enough.
Yeah. You know, it's like, no, I've got letting Lily, you know, I'm sitting here. My new boxers are a bit tight, and I really can't do. Erections at the moment. I really can't. You know, I can't. You know when you, I don't know, you might get it when you have that passing breeze and just something just kicks off. I can't do. I won't go outside at the moment just in case that passing breeze.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a 17-year-old penis. It just reacts to the breeze. So
oh goodness, I love that concept. Yes. I expect a full report next week.
Yeah, it's fine. But then again, if you want my diet, was it? My diabetic nurse goes, "Oh, Gary, you've been getting the exercises this during COVID." And I was going, "Well, he said, "Are you walking?" "No, can't stand walking." "Why did God invent the car?" And what's the point? And she said, "Are you doing anything exercise?" "Well, I can't go to the gym, I can't go to the pool, but I have had sex with a stranger. Does that count?"
Of course it counts. The stranger is your left hand. That might not count.
Left hand. I was going to say I'll have 2, but that would just be boasting.
I do have to go. I've got to take.
I know I've got to go because I can feel stirring. I really need to have a shower. All right, good to speak to you.
All right, Gary, sounds good. I'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Okay, bye-bye.